think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there, man? I know it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you with a dope podcast to step two. Well, the circus has left town, man, and the coast is clear, man. I did not want to really contribute to none of that shenanigans, man. I did observe, I did, have my little contributions over there on the smoke session with Pop a lot of smoke and all the homies, man. But now that one of the wackiest carnivals I've ever had the privilege of experiencing has left, I figure I'll go ahead and pack this thing up, man, and speak on it and get some things out there, man, as far as perspective, as far as where boxing is, as far as, how we're perceiving a lot of these things in the sport. Of course, gaslighting is at an all-time high, and it's just crazy, man. But I'm not gonna harp on it, man. Y'all know there's a lot of gaslighting out of here. It's a lot of people that's putting out messages and saying certain things because they have an agenda, right? The agenda is always the same because relevancy is the new drug, and they're going to stay relevant. It's just how they're choosing to stay relevant, how they're choosing to package these arguments to where one day they're saying one thing and then the next week they're flip-flopping. Oh yeah, and guess what? The hindsight boys are back outside, whereas in hindsight, you're hearing a lot of people really come out and speak about how they really feel about Turkey and everything, because there's a lot of people out here that have to see to believe. There's those that believe in order to see, and then there are people out here that have to see to believe. And so now that they're experiencing these things and this Trojan horse is open, the Trojan horse is here. Cookie Monster, Bodywork. Salute Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. But this is what we're talking about, y'all. Let me put it up here so we can go ahead and get busy. People are really trying me, man, but the worst circus ever. Cookie Monster say, sounding good. I appreciate that mic check. But the worst circus ever. Fatal Fury was Anti-Climatic. I don't know if a lot of y'all have seen, I probably won't date myself, but I don't know if y'all seen that movie, Jason's Lyric. It's, it's somewhat of a classic. Forrest Whitaker, I think James Allen Payne, Jada Smith, Jada Pinkett, shall I say, because that's before she got married. It had They had Tretch in there, and it was a scene on there, right, when Tretch was getting ready to go in there with the with his shorty or whatever, and and she was like, "Don't get me all excited if you can't hose me down." And I'm like, man, when I'm like, everything I was looking at, because everybody was saying May, and there was a lot of questions about the card before it actually came out. Like, a lot of people were looking at it like, hold on, man. T.O. the only one with the belt. He going first. You know, and Turkey is clearly shown that he's no respecter of belts. He don't care about belts. And everybody else, when it comes to that way, I've been saying it. I did a thumbnail. It had the little dude from Monopoly on it. And I had Charlo up there, and I said belts don't matter, because I heard the conversation when it comes to Devin. I heard the conversation when it comes to Bud. I heard the conversation when it comes to anybody's favorite fighter. But the conversation was always a little bit different when it came to Jermell Charlo. And I said, well, belts really don't matter, because the conversation around Tank was something totally different. You know what I'm saying? But it's clear that Turkey, he don't even care about belts. He plays only his belt, which I find ironic, because the people that he has grown to like, somehow, some way, they improved in the ranking systems. They found themselves to become champions, or on their way to becoming champions, and that's what his infatuation is, because you have to climb the ranking system or be positioned or given opportunities, only for him to acquire those people and say, oh man, F those belts over there. So I'm like, okay, so he the guy with the big turkey bag. You know what I'm saying? Little guys like me who just, hardcores who live, eat, and shit, this boxing shit, you know what I'm saying? We don't matter when we say it. It's like, who are you? What's your opinion? You just sit on the couch. Actually, I don't sit on the couch. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. I probably spend 1% of the year sitting on the couch somewhere. But when I look at everything, I'm like, I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, okay, so he don't respect belts. He's gonna put T.O., who got the lineal, he's gonna come out and go first. And I was analyzing everything, and I said, okay, it's a reason why he got to go first, and we'll get to that. But it was really the anticipation of this whole card. It was like the build up, and everybody saying, oh, because really the big thing was Ryan's return and Devin's return, right after the whole debacle of 420 and all, and everything that happened with that. So everybody was really looking forward to them to returning, and we had mixed reviews, on them returning and who we thought was what, and people want to play the selective outrage on the PED stuff, but that's neither here nor there. The biggest thing to me was a lot of people they're so thirsty that they just blindly and openly trust these outside entities that always come in to do their thing. And it's like, if it's not Black Prime, then it's something new, whatever, because we're so thirsty for an alternative, to something like, and that could be good. You know what I'm saying? There can always be new players in the game and stuff like that. Like Pro Box, they came on the scene. They're doing an excellent, amazing job, right? They still not getting like the credit that they deserve. But Turkey had got a lot of people open. Back when I was calling him the Trojan horse, everybody, oh, you hating, and oh, you just this, and you just a PBC gangbanger, and you just, Tank, D-Ride, all this other crazy stuff, But I was really looking at, I said, listen, man, in the workplace, if they outsource all of the work to somebody foreign, you're going to be looking for a new job or a new place to go. If y'all keep perpetuating that, if y'all want to keep pushing that forward, that's what's going to wind up happening to you. So I was just looking out, because I tend to look out, you know what I'm saying? I tend to look out, the next 2 to 3 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, where is boxing going? And that's what kind of keeps me on a roadmap of my boxing conversations and how I want to look at everything going forward, right? So it was really a lot of anticipation. I give Turkey credit for, a couple things as far as the resurgence in the heavyweight division, getting Bivol and that undisputed thing going on, and getting him, him and Beterbiev getting that situated. at the light heavy. But that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe giving a couple boxes some pay that they didn't, you know, really get paid, which leads me into T.O. Well, a lot of people didn't really realize about T.O. What they failed to really pay attention to is the fact that T.O. was never really got paid what he was worth, right? Because, you know, when you, it's one thing when you want to talk about accolades and all that, and people play musical chairs, you know, 3 Card Marley or whatever that. But when you look at resumes and you look at what he was able to achieve in the position that he was in, now some of it he did bring on himself, but many of the things that he done, he was not getting compensated for the things that he actually done in the place where he at in his career, you know. And so this was the first time where he actually had got a significant bag. And I think more so than this being something about him rising to the level of his competition, you know, like people always say about him, aside from that, was that this was one of the fights where he actually finally got compensated, and money is a motivator. So I'm gonna look at these things in a vacuum, and I'm gonna walk it all the way down, you know. And so when it came down to T.O., right? A lot of people, because of the things that he said outside the ring, a lot of people like defaulted over to liking Arnold Barboza or giving Arnold Barboza all of this. Oh, he's 33-0. He's never been undefeated. And he's never gotten his chance. And he's just this and that. And it's just like, well, I mean, you know, he's good. He's good. Arnold Barboza is a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like he did edge out Catterall. I agree with that decision. But we seen him get his ears boxed off by that dude. I think it was Sean McCombs. Ears boxed off, like got washed. And we seen him wash Jose Ramirez. Now we gonna parking lot him washing Jose Ramirez, and we're gonna come back to that, right? But Arnold Barboza was living on this thing to where it's like he's been waiting, he's been dodging me, he's been ducking me, and this and this and this, because he had plans. Him and DHP, they had already had plans. His father and Devin's father and Devin, they had already had plans to get T.O.'s belt when he had said, "Hey, look, I'm about to retire." T.O. was going through one of his breakdowns and he was getting ready to retire. They had already had plans to go for his belt. T.O. get wind of it and say, "Oh no, I'm not retiring. I'm coming back. I'm fight me." And so that was the whole thing, because Devin was gonna go up there and try to get that belt. You know what I'm saying? That was the goal. And a lot of people, you're not going to hear a lot of fans, like especially the Devin fans, you're not going to hear them talking about that, because that was actual facts. He was trying to get T.O.'s belt. So Arnold Barboza was living on this whole thing about how T.O. was avoiding him and didn't really want to fight him. It's like, no, T.O. he was in a position where he had done so much in his early career that he was looking for the big fights, and the big fights would actually lead to compensation. So I was looking at Arnold like, man, you kind of over embellishing about this whole ducking. It's like at a certain point in time, I'm not sure when it would have ever really made sense for T.O. really to fight you. I mean, because, you know, if we do like every other fan base, and we say we play the well, what do you bring to the table, or what do you have to offer, or what, you know what I'm saying, outside of being a mandatory. Now when you're a mandatory, you're mandatory. You know what I'm saying? You get in the right spot, you're a mandatory. Yeah, somebody gonna have to fight a mandatory. Okay, cool. If you're a mandatory, you work yourself up, and then the champion chooses you, or you earned it. Okay, cool. And they order it, and you know, all that stuff go down. Okay, cool. But outside of that, Arnold Barboza was not no like world beater. And I think everything changed. What people don't really realize is that when T.O. and Barboza had that press conference, and Barboza was getting a little bit out of pocket, believing some of his own hype, he was believing some of his own hype. He actually bumped T.O., knocked his hat off, and T.O. slapped the shit out of Arnold Barboza. And I don't know if you noticed, but when he slapped the shit out of Arnold Barboza, and he slapped what I call docility back into Arnold Barbosa, because after that, when you look at Arnold Barbosa and every press conference after the slap, he was like calm. It's almost like he had been domesticated. All that rah and all that whatever. And T.O. was saying, "Listen, man, you gonna respect me? I'm a champ. I got the title, man. Have some kind of respect. Like, geez, like, come on." And ever since then, Arnold Barbosa's whole energy changed. And he tried to say he got riders and his family don't get down like that. And everybody got people in their family or people that roll with them that's gonna do whatever. And you know what I'm saying? You may have some crash outs with you or whatever. Everybody got that. So he was trying to play that role like, yeah, this and that. But he really thought about it. He's like, yeah, I could fuck around and mess up the bag. But whenever they came to and talked to him, and after that slap, when they would ask Arnold Barbosa about him and T.O., he would say, "Oh man, nah, we both great fighters. We're gonna go in there and perform and this and that and blah blah blah." Totally different energy since from the slap. Okay, so that was the build up going into it. When T.O. comes out, he's in New York. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people argue, is he really from New York? Is he really from Florida? But yeah, for the longest time, people was associating T.O. with being from New York. So he was pretty much considered to be in his own backyard, even though he had some time down in Florida. He's in his own backyard. And he comes out with the little, I would say, G-Unit type vest. He had the music going. And he goes in there, and you see a invigorated T.O., a T.O. that's full of life, full of energy. He did some extra movement, but it wasn't a typical extra movement. Like T.O. used to do a lot of things, or in the past, he's been victim of doing a lot of things in the ring that don't assimilate to being effective. And it will wear down his gas tank. So, hold on. My bad, y'all. But he went in there, and he's been in the past. T.O.'s been victim of doing a lot of extra things that might have wore out his gas tank, or contributed to him like getting caught or being extra. Now this time, he was able to throw his jab. He was able to attack and get out the way. Normally, his enter and exit strategy, much like another fighter that fight from the southpaw side, these two fighters actually had a history of having issues when they enter to attack and when they exit. Because when you look at T.O., he was always getting caught with the check hook coming in, or when he's trying to escape, getting caught coming out. And that's a lot of times when he was getting his problems. Now, if you let him get in the inside, he was explosive, right? And a lot of people say, well, he hasn't had the same power since he was at 35. And yeah, that's notable. He hasn't. He hasn't had the power since he's been at 35, that one punch concussive knockout power, but he still, like, if you let him, load up on you or explode into you and you in a bad position, he can still catch you and put you out. I just think that he's been dealing with some fighters, some rough, rugged guys, and then with a Claggett, he wasn't motivated. T.O., skilled boxer, you're not really going to put him down. He's very much formidable. But with Arnold Barbosa, decent skills, a safety first fighter. I gotta say he is a safety first fighter. So he was not going to commit to anything that was going to allow him to really get caught or get himself fucked up in there. Right? So I enjoyed his performance. I was expecting, I bet for T.O. to knock, to put him down and put his lights out. I did, but I thought that Arnold Barbosa would engage more, right? But a lot of people are putting the onus on Tio, saying that they lumping him into some other performances, saying that he wasn't up to par when he performed, and they're not putting any onus on Arnold Barbosa. But I'm one of them people that say, hey, man, it take two to tango. So yeah, T.O. was pushing the acting at times. He showed some wrinkles. He showed some explosive. He showed, man, he was a showman at times. You know, he engaged with the crowd. I think he did very well. That's if I put when I put the whole thing aside, that, you know, some of the comments he said, and I just judged the performance. You know what I'm saying? The things that actually brought me to boxing, and I judge his performance inside the ring. I have to give him, I give him an A-. I give him an A-, only because I really wanted him at levels, you know what I'm saying? Because he did show us levels. He did show us levels, because if, by reasoning, if Arnold Barbosa washed Jose Ramirez, and they were saying that on paper, that's going to be a very, very tough test for Devin, you know, and he just got washed by Arnold Barbosa, and then Tio goes in and wash him. And it was only like really, you know, I guess you can count on one hand how much success Arnold Barbosa actually had when it came down to T.O. He did catch him with a big right, and it looked like he was kind of just waiting. He was kind of protecting, and you could tell he kind of studied film, and he was waiting for T.O. to do some of them tendencies that he normally do on his entry and his exit. Sometimes standing there, sometimes, you know, not covering up, you know, being like the little leaks he have in his defense. He was waiting on that, and it never came. Meanwhile, T.O. was just going to his body. He did good body work. He went, you know, he changed levels. You know, he used his feet. He didn't run. He was in and out like a robbery, in and out, and then choosing to go in there, and, you know, and then he was doing a relentless attack to the body. So I give him an A-. I give T.O. an A-, and he set the tone. Right, you can see that afterwards he was visibly emotional afterwards. You know, I don't know if he let one down. You know, I don't know if he shared a couple, but he was visibly emotional because he finally got compensated. He finally had, you know, a big fight, because everybody was pushing this Arnold Barbosa on the big stage with the whole world watching. I'm talking after the Lomachenko and after the Josh Taylor stuff. He finally came back on the scene being compensated and was able to show up, and he really didn't have anything you can really be like, oh man, he shouldn't do this or do that. He got caught with like one good time with one big right hand. He learned his lesson, made the adjustment, maybe got touched a couple more times, but nothing more. And he bruised easily. He's one of them people, he just bruised easily. You know what I'm saying? You hit him, he like a Stanyanis a little bit. He's going to come out looking like whatever. Now, Claggett did bust him up, but like he had little blemishes on his face or whatever. And that's that on T.O. So I give T.O. an A-. He set the tone. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, wow, they coming out, they're going to perform like this. He kind of like set the tone. What's up, AC?
What's good, bro? What it do?
Not much. I'm just running through it. I'm gonna get to I'm about to get to the Devin part now. We're gonna transition from T.O. into Devin. So I gave T.O. an A-.
Yeah.
And let's see, 323 Smoker, worst boxing ever this weekend that passed. Hey, yeah, like I think Top Rank saved the night, but I'm gonna pack the Circus up, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm back to my regularly scheduled program. But salute 323 Smoker. Salute.
Yeah, I gave T.O. an A. I saw some improvements, but like I said, I had T.O. I was going for T.O. I originally was going for Barbosa because I didn't know what T.O. was going to show up. Long story short, T.O. Brought out some of the old tendencies not tendencies, some of the old tricks that he had. He kind of, to me, he did a really, really good job of confusing Barbosa. Like, Barbosa didn't know when T.O. was exactly gonna act off of some of those extreme feints he was doing. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, he did a good job of confusing the shit out of Barboza and neutralizing Barboza just with feints, which is a underutilized tool that a lot of young boxers just don't have, whether it be foot feints, shoulder feints, full body feints. They just don't have that library of feints that they need to go back and talk to some of these really good veterans that are really great boxers. Talk to them and see how to pick some of those things up. Like I would tell a lot of young fighters, whether or not you want the man as your coach or not, go holla at Mark Brillin, because Mark Brillin is, you know, he's a student of one guy who probably, I would say, had one of the best feints in all of boxing, which was Tommy Hearn. Because if you fell for it, you was gonna be put on your ass bag. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'll tie up Tio and let you move on to Devin.
Okay. Now Devin, one of the things is one of the things with Devin. Devin is what I call a hands off. He's a hands off fighter. There's only a couple people that people just on the internet they do not like you talking about them. Like if you say anything about them, it all hell gonna break loose, and they're gonna say, "Oh, why are you hating? Why are you hating?" One of the things was everybody wanted to see because they said, "Oh, okay, Devin got a reprieve. He got a pass because of the Osterring." And you know, a lot of people like me, I had my time. I had my Haney pack that night, maybe the next day on Murderers Row. And then I was pretty much off of it. And in glancing blows, as the conversation came up, that's when I would actually speak on it. But I tried not to entangle with it because I was just like, man, people just want to embellish on that whole thing. And this was the time, this was the buildup for Devin's return. So a lot of people, he was like a mixed bag of nuts to me, because like you didn't know what you was gonna get, you know, you didn't know what, I didn't know what to expect, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, you know, I don't know if Oscar was with him saying Devin was a shot fighter. I'm like, well, Oscar, you know, he is gonna promote, and Ryan is his guy, so it's like, yeah, I gotta take that with a grain of salt. Then I gotta say, okay, well, shoot, he had a child, you know, I know that do some things to you. He's been off for a year. A lot of people were saying, well, why was he off for a year? It's another creator out here who put out a scenario that he was suspended for like 8 or 9 of them months. So I'm like, okay, I got to take that in consideration. So I didn't know what was going on. I just know that whenever it comes down to certain fighters, there's always an excuse. They make an excuse. They made an excuse for his performance in there the last time because of the Osterring. Like a lot of people didn't talk about the things that he could have done or continued to do, that even if somebody had Osterring in their system, a la like Michelle Rivera, when he came up dirty, and Frank Martin still sat his ass down and still outboxed him and all that, like, you know, things like that, like unsung heroes like that who have faced people with stuff in their system and still was able to get the job done. You know, they didn't look at it like that, but they excused many of the things that he could have done in that performance. That was an excuse. They excused, like, I know even offline, like when he got his criticism for the tool, for having the tool and getting caught with the tool, they made excuses for that. They made excuses for him punching on the carnival worker. They made excuses for that, or they went null and void. They made excuses for him, like, career-wise. When you look at him, he loves cougars. I call him the cougar hunter. He, like, I don't know what, he loved him some old boxers, you know what I'm saying, who'd have been passed around the ring or have questionable things. As long as they got a little accolade, a little fruit salad on them, you know what I'm saying, he likes to choose these kind of guys. So they excuse the opponent selection. You know, they excuse the fact that this was at a catchweight, and they say, oh, well, he wants to be comfortable, he wants to get up in it. But when it was another guy who did something at a catchweight with Ryan, they say, oh man, look at it, he putting people in, just different. So they excuse that, like, so they excused him not being at a full welterweight. They excused the fact that the opponent he selected, just like we was getting on Shakur when he was getting ready to fight Cordina, coming off that knockout loss to Kakesi. fighting Haratunya after coming off that loss to Frank Martin. The same kind of criticism, the fair criticism, we put these boxers on the scale. They excused the fact that Arnold Barboza had just washed. That he just washed Jose Ramirez. Arnold Barboza washed him. After Arnold Barboza got washed by Sean McComb. They made excuses for that. And I was one of them people that said, listen, man, in my book, I had Devin winning. Because my bet, when I bet on them, I had T.O. sparking Barboza. I had Devin winning the decision over Jose Ramirez, unanimous decision over Jose Ramirez. And I had Ryan sparking Rolly. That was my bet slip. You know what I'm saying? I think I put like a little 10 spot on that, you know, and that was my little parlay to win me a couple dollars. And T.O. blew it right off the, you know, T.O. blew it, which was good and bad, because I could just enjoy and not want my results to come. I could just really relax and watch the fight. But I knew that fight with Jose Ramirez was actually won when he selected his opponent. There are a couple guys that if they choose you, more than likely they're choosing you for a reason, and they already know that they can win. For one, I believe that Devin could spell a lot of the things that Arnold Barboza was able to do with Jose Ramirez because he's more athletic. He is a skilled boxer. He has a good jab. He has probably better feet. As far as punching power, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure who has the punching power between him and Arnold Barboza. But I knew that he was looking at film saying, like, just like with Zarilla and Regis, he was moving up. Be like, look, I'm gonna be a little bit more hydrated. I'm gonna be able to be a little bit stronger. I'm not gonna be sucked down as much, so I can spell some of the things that Zarilla was able to do with Regis. I think that he was looking at Arnold Barboza saying, listen, I can spell some of those things that Arnold Barboza did to Jose Ramirez because he's not the same guy when he was fighting the Josh Taylors and all them of the world, and they was doing their little thing at 40 when they should have been moved up to 147. So coming in and looking at the performance, I was just like, To me, I was just like, I said I equated it to the fact that we in a new era of boxing, man. I just got it, just like me talking to my old head, like about, it's probably been over a year ago, and I was trying to tell him, I said, man, boxing is changing. I'm starting to accept that you got safety first fighters, and you got fighters that'll say, well, if it's part of the game and you can't stop it, then I'm going to do it. You know, it's like playing basketball and a team that's going to pass the ball no less than 6 or 7 times before somebody shoot. You got teams like that, and this team that just going to run their plays and just run up the score. They're going to beat the shit out of your shot. They're going to dunk on you. They're going to try to demoralize you and take you out the game and get such a big lead to where it's like a damn near impossible. They're going to try to break your will. But there are some people that play the game like that, to where you're going to have to chase me around every inch of this damn court, and the minute you slip, that's when I'm going to shoot. But I done shot that shot 1,000 times. You know, and that was the kind of fight I saw, to where it was the not get hit and hit type mindset. And I was with Tim Bradley when he said, man, listen, he's like, man, listen, son, settle your feet down. Because I heard his analysis afterwards, and I was like, man, your feet should have got settled. You done got us all amped up, and it was very anticlimactic. And that's why I call him Devin the Wet Dream Haney, because yeah, you got the job done, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of us don't want to get it done in our sleep. We want to, you know what I'm saying? We actually want to do the pumping. We want to reach out and feel, you know, and we want to, you know, we don't want to wake up. Like, yeah, it's all right, you know. Yeah, it got the job done. It was you got the dub. It was a release, but we want to do it. We want you to do it for real, man. We wanted to see it. We wanted you to put on. We wanted the performance to match the vocabulary in the conversation going in. All of the things that Bill was saying, to say, oh, listen, this and that, all of the rah-rah. We wanted to see that complemented with the performance inside the ring. So by the numbers, yes, we can say Jose Ramirez wasn't able to cut off the ring, or that's Jose Ramirez's fault. you know. But I think that Jose Ramirez knew that Devin was going to use some of his feet. You know, he was going to use his footwork to be more elusive. But I don't think Jose Ramirez was out there doing wind sprints and, you know, running 10Ks or marathons thinking that he was going to have to chase him around like that. He thought that at some point in time, Devin was going to settle down and engage, maybe wear his gas tank down a little bit, go to his body, you know, tactics like that. And then they was actually going to have pockets in the fight where they was actually going to fight. And so for me, if I had to grade that performance, man, I had to get that. I can't say a D because that would be fair. I would get that a C minus, man, because you got the job done. You got the job done, and I would say, as far as winning or like points for performance, like entertaining the crowd, like stuff that fans want to see, I mean, it was average. It wasn't. I mean, I don't even know if it was average. I just know that you got the job done. But I was not wild at all, and my lady fell asleep, and that's the that's the barometer in my house, man. We watching boxing. If the fight is good, she's gonna be, even if nobody get knocked out. If it's two good fighters in there, she would be up and engaged watching the fight. If she fall asleep, it was trash. Like Pop said the same thing about his lady. He's like, man, if she fall asleep, we be it's an inside joke. We be laughing at that. She fell asleep. I was like, damn, you done made my lady fall asleep. But go ahead. I mean, and I'm glad you came in on this segment because I know I've heard some of the things you had to say about this Devin thing, but since I say you're one of the most reasonable Devin Haney fans that I know, as far as just keeping it a buck, still being a diehard fan, still sticking in that foxhole with him no matter what, but being honest in your assessment. You know what I'm saying? What was your take on the Devin Jose whole thing?
Well, I'm gonna say, going into the fight, just like I say with a lot of fighters, these guys are at points where you got to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? You took a half step back because you didn't lose anything. You know what I'm saying? You didn't lose anything. You took a half step back and you initially dropped your belt to move up. You know what I'm saying? And not face the guy who was sitting at your throne. So for fans like myself, we was expecting like you to come out, slow the fight down. You know what I'm saying? I was anticipating a boring fight, but I wanted to see overall how were you going to respond to getting hit. You know, if there were any improvements. And this is sometimes the issue you get when guys try to drop these little clips of them working with trainers and all of this other shit. It's like, okay, so you showed us all of those clips. What the fuck happened in the ring? Like, what went wrong, or what did you decide not to do as far as you getting all of that training over the past year, and then you just go in there and you stink up the whole place and shit like that with that performance. Now, if I'm going to grade his performance, my honest opinion is you would get a C, maybe a C minus, because what happens is the build up to the fight gave everybody this feeling or sense that, you know, you was ready, you was coming out, just like we was on channels with other guys that were talking about Brian Normandy, like, yo, the boy is sharp right now. He gonna come out, you know, that whole Boots thing was some bullshit. Watch when this dude come out. He's sharp. He gonna be working on something. Looked like he turned the corner, and we got to see all of that. So it was no hyperbole. It was factual. Bill, stop trying to oversell us on the fight. The same criticisms I have for Boots, the same criticisms I have for Shakur. Devin Haney, you're starting to put on those sneakers and wear those shoes. We know what you can do. We know you're a talented boxer. Have you reached your full potential? No. Are you close to reaching your full potential? Not at all, because you won't settle in and find one good trainer that you'll listen to and will guide you the right way. You wanna hop around and whatever, and it's causing people to say things, and even a fan like myself to believe that, hey, you can't play this shit, bro. You got to find yourself a good, solid trainer. Stay with that guy. Let him teach you. Let him show you other wrinkles. Because right now, I'm starting to see whatever tools you did have when you was young Dev and you was calling Lomachenko, you've abandoned that. You know, I'm not going to say you put on the weight and, oh, the weight don't. No. Because if I know how to ride a bike, I could be 300 pounds and still know how to ride a fucking bike. That shit don't change no matter how much weight you put on. It's the fundamentals, like we say, the mechanics. And then you hear people talking about, yeah, Dad been working on the mechanics. Okay, I understand the engine has to run, but literally you got to do the same thing, run. Because right now you're moving other people out of that position where other guys, they said, yeah, these guys are a runner or this guy's a runner, and you just said no. They runners, but I'm gonna show you what a real runner look like.
Yeah.
So all the circling, all of that other kind of stuff you was doing, I get, and I agree with your point where Ramirez probably thought you were going to slow down and give him a fight. You got the jitters. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, let him go through this bullshit. Maybe about the fourth round, end of the third, going into the fourth, he'll finally settle down, or his corner will tell him, look, all right, now you established the foot movement. You got him thinking right now whether or not to come in, because you might not be there when he throw the punch. But you didn't make that nigga pay for when he did throw the punches and he missed, because you were damn near on the other side of the ring. And I'm being facetious when I say that, but it's like that wasn't the performance that we were expecting. That's not the performance that says, yeah, it puts a demand on other things. Like, yeah, I want to see Devin Haney in his next fight.
Right. So let me ask you this. That analogy about the bike, that was crucial, man. You stay with them crucial analogies, but let me ask you something. Okay. When we were going into this fight, there was certain things we wanted to see from T.O. And if he checked this block, check that block, okay, cool. There was certain things we wanted to see from Devin to check this block, check that block, and check this block. Now, with the performance that you've seen, one of the questions was, is he shot? Or does he have PTSD? Or is he scared to take a punch? Like, if you go down the checklist of things we wanted to see to tell us where he at, did you get any of those questions answered? Do you know where he do? Based on that performance, do you know where Devin Haney is at?
No. I can only say this and just be honest with this thing that I'm saying. I know you're not scared to get back in the ring. That's about as much as I know. Anything else as far as engaging and, letting that jab go that you used to have, and it, you know what I'm saying? It could have easily picked Ramirez apart. You could have picked Ramirez apart the same way you picked Kambosos apart, because when Ramirez did throw, he was quite slow compared to you. But you do that stuff. So those questions ain't answered for me.
But see, the thing is, to me, is like, I don't know if he would. I still question whether or not he believe in his skill set, if he trusts his skill set. You know what I'm saying? It's like when them Olympic divers be up there, you gotta trust that if you go and you put that pressure down on that board, to where you gotta get that lift off, that it ain't gonna snap. That's just something that you got to get over with early, and you got to believe that when you push down on it, it's going to give you that spring you need to, you know what I'm saying, go into your tucks or your spins or whatever you're going to be doing in the air. And I question whether or not he believes in the skills that he have. I mean, I understand adding new wrinkles, But I still question whether or not, because look, Devin's feet is good enough to where like a like you would think that with a somebody like an Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the way Ryu handled him, knowing that okay, I don't like my chin is questionable. Everybody question Ryu's chin, but they don't question whether or not he can box, and they don't question whether or not he got power, because Ryu got power, right? But his feet were good enough to where he could move and make Cruz move, a fighter that needs his feet set to get maximum leverage. And yeah, he got caught a couple times being in the wrong spot or getting timed by Cruz, because even if his feet ain't set, he can notice a pattern and know, okay, he tend to do this, so when he do this, I know when he do this, he about to be over there, so I'm just going to throw that punch in anticipation, right? But Devin has the skill set to where his feet are good enough to where he can offset the leverage of a power puncher, meaning that he can move just enough to where as they're moving, he can get his punch in and then move and then get out the way and do something like that. But I don't even think he gave his feet time enough to settle to be able to get the leverage, or to he caught Ramirez a couple times. He caught him a couple good times, you know what I'm saying, throughout the course of the fight. Probably more than a handful of times, maybe.
Yeah.
But I still question whether or not he can do, like, because I was surprised when, like, what he did to Regis, and I'm thinking more that this was more of a dimension thing. And this is what I was saying. I said this a long time ago about Devin. One of the things about, and salute his twin, salute body. She said salute Bodywork, salute all, salute his twin. But one of the things that he did with Loma was when he first started the fight, he went to Loma because he knew. And I said, when you look at how T.O. in one of my breakdowns, I said, if you look at how T.O. did it, and if you look at how that dude Salido did it, they went to his body. And by gosh, Devin went to his body. Like, he was putting water in the basement early in that fight, especially since Loma, sometimes he crank, if you're not on his level, he'll crank up on you early, but sometimes it take him a little while to crank up. Just like with T.O., he put his hands in his pocket, and then when he started cranking it up, he made it more competitive. But I thought that he was good at being first and not going for the head, but going to the body and then moving his feet and then going to his body some more. And that putting that water in the basement was going to make it to where Loma couldn't use them legs. I was looking for more of him believing in that kind of stuff. But I still question now that the dimensions are a little bit closer, because you got to think, when he dealing with Loma, he had the longer arm reach. When he was dealing with Regis, he had the longer arm reach. He was actually bigger than them guys. Now you're dealing with these guys that's closer to your size. That's why I said that whole Ryan thing in my prediction. I said, man, it ain't gonna go the way everybody think it, because this is the first time where the dude is taller than you, he's longer than you, he has more speed, he has more power, right? So now that you got these guys, and you chose a guy like Ramirez who has some power, but he's not like a Brian Norman, he's not a Boots, he's not a Romain Villa, he's not. I don't even know if he's a Montes Stanionis. You know what I'm saying, with the average or above average, you know, average to above, slightly above average type fighter. So I was questioning whether or not he was still going to believe in that skill set, whereas the guy's arms are a little longer and he can touch you when you in range. When you in range to hit him, he's in range to hit you. You know, I was questioning, and I didn't get that answered. I was like, man, I don't know, man, because he did that with Ramirez, who he's not. I can't say he's. Hold on.
At this point, I'm gonna say it like this. At this point, I'm not sure if he believes in his power. I mean, believes in his skill set. I think he'll start to believe or re-believe in his skill set when he gets with a coach or someone he believes in. Because if you're told to, you know, yeah, you can knock this motherfucker out. You got the skill set, you got the footwork, you can easily outbox this guy, blah, 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 blah. And these are the people who are in your corner that you trust. Then when you go out there and you get handled like that, with the rounds that you got handled like that, I believe shit like that is really gonna shake your confidence because going into fights, you're gonna be like, I hear what you say, but I'm the person that's gotta be in there. Right now, I ain't 100% believing in what you're saying. Just to give context to what I'm saying is that short time Anthony Joshua was with Derek James. You could tell the way Anthony Joshua fought, he did not believe in shit that Derek James was saying. Because there was something within that camp that he was like, yeah, this guy ain't talking to me and he ain't doing certain things that was there for me to win prior to this. Like I worked on a lot more stuff. Then going into that Ryan fight, you may have been working on things and you feeling, I got it, I could do it because you're in a bubble and everybody's, yelling in your ear the same thing. Then when you get out there and perform and it's a shitty performance, for me being a chef, I'm doing tests on my entire menu. Everybody that's in the restaurant is telling me, oh chef, that shit is delicious. It's so good. It's this, and that. I make the same dish, same seasoning, and give it to a critic, and the critic says it had way too much acid in it. It was salty as hell. It was blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna start to question me, not the motherfuckers around me. Until I realize that it might be them, I'm gonna stay questioning me. And I think that's just the nature of human beings. So he's gotta find that one good coach that's going to instill in him trust in your skill set, bro. Trust in your skill set and trust what I'm gonna do for you.
Salute, body.
Salute, Bill. Salute, Pop. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on with the Splash Brothers? You know what I mean? AC and Smoke. Hey, Body, you do them graphics, man. I need a truck with 2 men in the truck with School and motherfucking Devin Haney in the front motherfucking seat. Cause them boys be moving. You know what I'm talking about? Them boys were moving. 2 men in a truck. 2 men in a truck. Well, I tell you. They look the same. And if that one Canelo, who's to say if Skull wouldn't have won that fight? That's crazy. I said, wow.
You see how I got him on there? You see that guy in the middle? Motherfucking road runner. He see the road runner?
And he was worse than Haney.
Yeah, because he was doing the electric slide. He was doing the motherfucking cha-cha slide. He was doing the motherfucking merengue. He was juking. I thought he had a football time.
He showed us something, though. Canelo was frustrated than a motherfucker. Just think if somebody was moving like that and popping the shit out his ass. Ooh. Bud finna do this damn thing to him. Pop, 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 and then move for a little minute. He be, come on, fight. I mean, he looked kind of like Bacoli was doing. Bacoli made it work, though. Even though it was, Bacoli, goddamn, I don't know, did some voodoo mind trick on old boy and kind of made him engage. You know what I'm saying? But if old boy would have kept fighting like that, then Bacoli would have been done for. But
is this the new? Is this? I asked AC before you got on here. Is this the new era, man? Where this is what we can expect? Where people just going to do this? Where it's like, okay, you can't touch me, you can't cut the ring off. Is this where we at?
No, it's not where we at. Where we at is they ain't got in there with a motherfucker that'll show them. You keep doing that, I'ma do this. You can run all you want to. I ain't gotta chase you. Who gonna win this fight, bro? Like, you gonna have to come forward eventually. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 rounds, you can run around. I'm gonna show I can cut the ring off, do it, hit you in the body a couple times, win the round. Then your corner gonna be like, you gonna have to do something. If you running and not punching, I mean, what's gonna happen? You gonna get cracked. I mean, they need to go back to the old school, you know what I'm saying? and realize that it was a lot of quick feet motherfuckers back then, and them boys are goddamn find a way to grapple them, hold them, do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Get them in the corner, grab them. When they grab you, make sure you swing them around and get them in the corner, do something. Dirty tricks, whatever. You gonna fight.
Yeah, I think it's really standing more toward the middle of the ring, and you're supposed to have these zones to where if they step slightly past your left, you either got to throw a hook to the body and do a lateral step over to the left, and then a hook up, either a hook upstairs or a hook downstairs, and step forward when they go back the other way, and then you got to keep doing it. But it's not you just going forward and then going side to side. It's like you got to go sideways first and throw something almost like a bracket. It's like I don't know, like almost like playing tennis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's almost like playing. You got to reach out and cut that side off, and when they move over, you got to step forward. Because Loader, we gonna talk to Loader when Loader get when Smoke have Loader back on. We gonna talk to Loader about that.
I mean, I look at it like
salute Monticello. That was funny.
I think that like AC was saying, like Bill need to get out the ring, and if you bring somebody in the camp, let them lead, and that way they can implement what they were saying during camp, because you in the middle of the ring, all that shit is in the wash. They saying it in his ear, but you like the lead man, so you saying what you want to say because the camera on, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, if you gonna bring me in your fucking, that's probably why a lot of people ain't gonna go to his camp. They might spar with him, help him out a little bit, but shit, Sugar Shane was at the ring. So it was like he trained him this time, and we didn't get to see none of that shit. It's like, what the fuck I know he like, I got paid, but now what the fuck I do this for? And he gonna run the whole time. And AC gonna try to say, yeah, you starting to go over to what we were saying about Shakur. He been there.
No,
Shakur ain't gonna do that. Shakur don't do that.
No, because y'all made excuses for Shakur the night it happened.
That wasn't no excuse.
Y'all would say, that's his hand. That's his hand. That's his hand.
I ain't say nothing about his hand. He said it after the fight. I thought it was, him being him. I mean, it seemed like De Los Santos wasn't putting enough heat on him. I wanted to see him, you know what I'm saying, spread his wings and fucking fly and do some ill shit. So I think somebody need to put some pressure on him so I can see what my fighter got. You know what I'm saying? Like
with Bill and Devin, that's just he had not only Sugar Shane, but a lot of guys, like he had Nate Jones over there, bro. If you don't know who Nate Jones is.
Yeah, Nate Jones.
He was in Floyd corner like his whole career.
Yeah, that's the one that know the background stories and all that shit. Yeah, the body bag man.
Yeah, like, and you ain't you ain't letting him coach.
That's the problem, bro. That's why I said, listen, you need to find yourself one good coach that you respect, that he gonna put it back in you. If not, fucking around.
You found him. You found him. You need to tell your dad. You need to grow some balls and tell your dad this is where it's gonna go. This is me. You making me look. Just said, Daddy, just step to the side, bro. You right here with me. I'm not putting you out, but you want to get the fuck out the way.
So let me ask you this question then. Just to ask the question, not to be an asshole.
Yeah, it is. Yes, go ahead. You shooting. Chef Curry. Go ahead.
When you look at the dynamic of how it changed between Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr., when you look at that dynamic of how it changed, where it just seemed as, maybe Brian Norman had a talk with his dad and he said, let me take this. I'm gonna show you I could do this. You think maybe Dev need to call Brian Norman Jr. and be like, yo, how did you reach your pops to do this shit? Because when you look at it, you see a definite difference in where the dad now trusts his son. Are you seeing that same thing with Bill? Is Bill or does Bill just want to be in the spotlight? In your
his
opinion?
mama, Devin Haney, mama still alive?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's
I
still
mean,
alive.
okay, well, he need to call his mom, tell her to relay that shit to his daddy, because obviously he can't. And then when she relay it to his daddy, daddy gonna come to him, motherfucker, why you ain't just goddamn you? Mama know how to put a bug in daddy ear differently than son. You know what I'm saying?
But they not
Like,
married. He with a white woman.
I
He's a
know,
Muslim.
but I'm just saying, like, yeah, mama still married or not, mama know how to put a
I
bug
don't
in
think he
daddy
listen to
ear.
her. I don't think he listen to her.
Well,
It
look,
ain't got
look,
to.
anybody that's reputable that would probably be able to do it aside from I don't see why they didn't keep Mickey Bay, because I think he could relate to Devin, and he had the experience of being in the ring and all that, and they had a good rapport. But I don't think anybody like reputable gonna be able to deal with that level of toxicity. Like, even if you look
But
at, because it'd be shots fired at Derrick James, and Derrick James, he get a lot of criticism to where he is saying what need to be said to his guys. I seen it with all his guys. I seen it with Frank. I seen it with Earl. I seen it with Jamel, where he's saying what need to be said. But sometimes these fighters, they don't want to execute. And I don't think
he
it's
did it with Ryan.
as many coaches out there gonna be willing to put up with dealing with Bill.
And that's the issue right there, because that's what I was getting ready to say. I said, listen, he had all of these great coaches in his corner. At some point, we can't, and Dev, you could see where Dev was starting to pick up some of the things from them. But like it's always said, you need to be with a guy for 2, 3, 4 fights before you really start to see that new coach's impact on the fighter. You feel what I'm saying? When you're looking at Bill, hold on. When you're looking at Bill Haney may be that type of backseat coach, or try to be that backseat coach to say, yo, why is my son not doing this, and why is my son not doing that? He's like, because I'm training him. You could have your opinion, but this is how I train. And these niggas, I don't think they like Bill. I just think that's what it is.
But the thing is, it's a respect thing, because I feel like he looking at Sugar Shane like, well, your son ain't at this point. Your son ain't this. You ain't trained your son to do this. I'll take some pointers from you. It's like he's, you know how like in kung fu movies, like they go to different people to learn their style and then implement it in their style.
Yeah, but it's
that's
all,
what I
when
think.
you look at it, it's all consistent into the new style that they're bringing up, because you need Eagle Claw, you need the power and the explosiveness of Eagle Claw, you need the slickness and flexibility of Mantis Claw to be able to do horseface fists. I get
Cam
that,
say send him the link, Smoke.
But that's not what.
Yeah, he said send him the link, the body channel.
Yeah, but that's not what's going on with Devin Haney.
Yo, just tell him it's Bodywork boxing.
He texts you too.
Man, I know.
I'm on the phone.
I got it. Go ahead.
But basically,
I'm on the phone, man. I'm at work.
But basically, what I'm trying to explain to you, Bills, is you're not seeing that overall goal of where the Devin Haney style of boxing is going to be pronounced and it's going to be there. You saw glimpse of it when at the time where he was calling Lomachenko Nomachenko. You was like, yeah, I could tell, this is Dev. Look at this, look at that. Those are trademark Devin Haney things. Those things that were trademark Devin Haney things, he no longer does anymore, because you're seeing too many fighters, and then you're being trained by a guy who shouldn't be training you. He should not be training you. So you gotta go to somebody, and he has to understand that I can't bring my son no further. My son's career.
That's what I'm saying.
AC.
Yeah.
How many niggas has he had work with his son? Legendary.
And that
a lot.
By now, bro, he ain't gonna learn.
Bro, I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because I'm saying it like this, and this is where I'm saying it like this. You're not gonna learn shit from somebody if I work with you today, and now I go into a whole new kitchen tomorrow with another chef, and this chef got me picking and fine chopping and Brenoir all different. I can't learn nothing that way. And I'm a young cook looking to be a great chef. You don't learn it like that going to a kitchen day to day. You need to be with a guy at least a year to pick up shit. And if you can't pick up nothing from being with a motherfucker for a whole year, you're not going to learn. This is not the business for you.
But and then again, this person got to be in the ring with you. Just like you on the football field, we've been going over these plays in practice, but shit, I don't get to call the plays in the game, so I can't implement what the fuck I've been showing you because I'm not calling the plays in the game.
And that's the point we're all making.
I'm not making no more excuses for that motherfucker, man. That nigga had Mickey Bay for years. He had Floyd Mayweather Sr. in the beginning. Countless
talking about when he looked good.
Hold on, man. Countless gyms and trainers and teachers that he's put with his son. He leaves them all and takes the credit. Mickey Bay was the longest tenure. As soon as they start saying, "Hey, Mickey Bay got looking good," gone. So he ain't gonna learn. He ain't gonna do nothing. The nigga ain't gonna do none of that shit, bro.
Bro, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying based on recency bias. And it makes it hard to actually debate that based on what we saw last night, Pop. But what I'm saying is, all the trainers you quoted, that was in the beginning when Devin looked the best. That's not happening now.
Hold on, AC.
With these guys for a year.
Hold on, AC. What we seen last night was the best fight of the weekend. Now, what we seen Friday, was a motherfucking track meet.
But let me long story short, so we can get off of Devin, because I don't want to make it all about him. But let me ask you this, AC: is it safe to say that after this fight, we walked away with more questions than answers about Devin?
You walked away with a novel worth of questions.
Y'all niggas tripping. I got all my questions answered.
Go ahead, end it out on Devin, then Pop.
Listen, he got PTSD. He don't want to get hit no more. And bro, you just ain't that. You just ain't that. You're not excited. You don't want to see you. I seen how you ducked that left hook that Ramirez threw at you. You damn near ran out the ring when he threw that motherfucker. So you know what? Let me talk about Rolly, right? Because I know why Rolly was so sharp now. I know exactly why he was so sharp. Guess who got him right?
Who got him right?
The young boy.
Which one?
The one we interviewed, Bill.
Joseph Brown.
Joseph Brown got him right. I spoke to him.
You crazy.
I spoke to him.
Real talk. Wow.
I tell you what, go to Joseph Instagram page. See what he in there doing with Rolly.
Wow.
All damn it, I think it's like 8-9 pictures. It's like 6 of them, him and Rolly. They out there training. They in the gym. They right next to each other. He was there in New York. So he got him right. And so now you look at Rolly like, oh, you was boxing Joseph all goddamn camp. Yeah, you right.
Like I said, like I be telling people, man, you can learn from young people, you can learn from a kid, you can learn from an old mother, you can learn from anybody, bro. But a lot of boxers probably wouldn't take that as, you know what I'm saying, they learned something from the shit. Rolly showed that shit, man. Rolly showed that shit.
It used to be this commercial, man. It used to be this little dummy. He said you can learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle up.
I'm trying buckle up.
Might be dating myself, but so let's talk about the Rolly. Let's talk about the Rolly and Ryan, because I see a lot of people was like way down on Ryan, and a lot of people was ready to anoint Rolly, and I'm somewhere in the middle.
Well, I'm gonna kick this one off real fast. I'm gonna say it like this: it's the saddest part of Rolly's victory is being taken away because the piss poor performance of Devin Haney. You feel what I'm saying?
It's not.
Rolly deserves every bit of credit that he got for so far this year. Probably one of the biggest upsets. Some people was like, yeah, he could possibly win, blah, 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 blah. I said I was back and forth on it. I can remember at the time saying at one point saying, I hope he win, knock that drug cheat ass nigga out and retire his fucking ass, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I did not expect, and regardless of what anybody was saying, whether you saying this puncher's chance or not, nobody expected him to outpoint him. That's the story.
I did.
That's the story. Hold on, let me finish. The point, the story to be for me to be discussed is if Ryan was the better boxer. You feel what I'm saying? He did what he did to Devin Haney. Granted, there's the caveat to it, but you were outpointed by Rolly Romero. That's the story for me, and I'll just land it right there.
Okay, for me, I told a lot of people Rolly was gonna knock him out. Yeah, I was wrong, but I knew Rolly was gonna beat him. Outpouring him, whatever. I said Rolly gonna beat him. I told my homeboy before the fight, I said, put your money on Rolly. I ain't into all that betting shit because I got a long history of some bullshit, but we're gonna go. But Devin Haney performance didn't overshadow what Rolly did. Shit, it made it even more impactful. Like, man, Devin Haney laid it in. T.O. dancing around the ring. He looked all right. But the highlight is Rolly. Everybody looking at Rolly like, wow. And Ryan, you just prima donna, you just thought you was that, but you what? And once you got in there with young Hercules, I'm gonna have him a nickname in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm rolling with Rolly. You know what I'm saying? From here on out, win or lose or draw, that's my guy. But anyway, other than Double S now, we don't disrespect my man Double S. But Smoke, you said it. Rolly is the only one that's a pay-per-view star out there.
He's the only pay-per-view star.
That you know, you said
the only pay-per-view star on that card. Rolly got the knockdown. Rolly outboxed him. Rolly had shit to say. He had the shit to say, you know what I'm saying? When they asked him about Devin, he had some slick shit to say. It had the crowd. Like, he been there before, man. It's just...
Hey.
You know, go ahead.
Rolly and Blair Cobb. Oh, my God. That would be epic.
I think Blair
would be... I mean, just the build up and the shit talking and the... You know, Rolly be and you know, Rolly talk his shit and Blair, woo, man, listen.
If I was Blair, I'd be trying to go relieve Rolly of that strap. I mean, to me, that's easy pickings. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see Blair and Conor Ben right now. But you know, I would say, man, hey, put the bat signal out to Blair and tell him, man, go relieve Rolly of that strap, because I don't think Rolly can beat Blair. But this is what I do want to say. Bills. I think, you know how I said I was somewhere in the middle of Ryan underperforming and then Rolly doing unthinkable, and I'm not jumping on it, but I think what a lot need to be said about that is Rolly actually being at 47. Him filling out, you know, him having his, you know, because that's where he's supposed to be. And a lot of these guys, we say it all the time, because we always talk about Jahai and him getting to the weight class that he should be. Now, you might take your lumps when you get there, but the sooner you get to where you're going to be, like where you're not, you might walk around a little bit heavier, but closer to where you walk around, like when Mel really, you know, got what he needed to be. He don't get much bigger. That's pretty much his walk. He's like get a little bit bigger than his walk around rate. But when he get in that ring, he don't got to worry about draining and all that. He's used to performing on all that, and he's going against all these different styles. So a lot got to change. He don't got to spend 3 or 4 weeks doing a fat camp and doing all this. So I think Rolly was a little more comfortable with not having to go through that part of sucking down, because he filled out good. And I think that power, and then Ryan feeling that shit and making a business decision like, look, man, I'm not getting knocked out in Times Square by Rolly, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep my hands in my pockets. I'm gonna do enough to survive. And all that shit Derrick James was telling him was going in one ear and going right out the other. He's
And he was
like, I don't
telling
know.
him right.
You say, I'm not letting this retarded motherfucker knock me out in Times
But
Square.
Rolly did do some shit and it was so dope that Ryan never threw another. He never even attempted to throw a left hook after he knocked him down because Rolly was like, he opens himself up, and he could see that. He could literally see that he was getting ready to open up, and he caught you with two quick ones. Bang, bang. That's not luck, nigga. That's technique.
Yeah, soon he throw that left, his right hand drop, and Rolly knew that, and cause that shit happened with Tank.
But it hurt, bro. I mean, it hurt Ryan game plan.
More.
Like, hold on, this motherfucker just did technique, timing, distance, and he got power. Where he get these skills from?
He was thinking, man, it's only the second round, man. Shit.
It's only the second round, and he done some skillful, powerful waiting. But now I know where he got it from. He was in there with the young general.
At whose gym?
Right there.
He went at whose gym? They
in Vegas.
No, I was saying at whose gym in Vegas?
Floyd. That's the only gym Joseph go to.
Okay, so all right.
That's the only gym he goes to. When he's in Vegas, that's where he goes.
Man, he kept that phone up on the ear, man. It was like, oh, I'ma just make sure you gonna throw another punch. That left is not hitting me. And it was like, wow.
You've never seen Ryan Garcia as a jab artist. I thought I was watching Devin Haney fight.
So really to wrap up the Friday card, so we can go into the Saturday joint. So we can go into the Saturday card. I want to say this, man. I was over there on Smoke Session, and I was saying that I thought it was weird that Devin was able to get ranked at number one after the whole whatever, him coming up and being able to get ranked number one above, all them people that been at 47. And it was odd that Rolly and Ryan, especially Ryan, coming off of the suspension for whatever, and them actually getting that WBA, that belt, I thought that was odd. So now Rolly kind of reshuffled the deck for everybody.
Right,
so walking away, I think that we don't. It kind of caused the frenzy at 47 and how the match is going to be made, because I heard Conor Ben was there because he was trying to get a Ryan fight if Ryan would have won. That's what's not being talked about.
I don't think he want to fight Rolly.
Right. So I'm like, so given the fact of everybody's performance, do we see a Rolly and a T.O.? Does anybody no.
At 47?
Well,
talking about going to 47, you definitely think he can beat Rolly.
So think about it, because I'm thinking, look, the key would be Rolly now, right? Because if he's been mandated and Boots is going to have to fight that guy Gearsov, when he go to fight Gearsov, whoever want Boots next can go knock off Rolly or get in there, and then boom, it'll work by what the sanctions body's trying to do if they can get that happening, because that's what they mandated, like, right?
Cookie.
But I think Barrios and Rolly real familiar with PVC, so he should be able to get that.
He's taking that belt with him too. He's taking that belt with him too, because he was talking about how them niggas treated him like shit. So he's taking that belt with him.
So let me come in and just ask this question real quick. I'm looking at the sanctions now. It's got Rolly as the regular champion. I guess Duran is elevated to the super champion.
He was already super champion. Rolly won the regular belt last night. That was going to prepare Ryan.
Okay, so the question I gotta ask is, when the situation was with Tank when he was the WBA regular, you feel what I'm saying? He was fighting everybody else's mandatory. So how does that work now with Rolly there and Boots does he still have to face Gearsov?
I mean, the road
he gotta face Gearsov because he inherited that mandatory, just like Devin inherited.
So, but the point I'm asking is, according to the way the WBA was running shit, You feel what I'm saying? The regular champion fights all the super champions mandatories. The
I
super
mean, but
champion
shit.
can choose whoever the fuck he want to fight, whether that's a unification or just picking up a voluntary to fight someone on down, or he'll say nah. You know, he's got a lot of leverage to where they make the regular guy fight the super champions mandatory. So does that now mean Giasov, Rolly inherits Giasov?
No. That mean that
Depends on how they run it. But if they don't have
It
a
might-
bigger fight
it
for
means-
hoops, then he's fighting Giasov.
no,
Okay.
it mean the road to undisputed go through rolling. That's what it mean.
But this is the thing, man, and we gotta get on to the other card. But this is the thing about that. I also was talking about on your channel, Pop. I was saying, man, don't y'all find it weird that everybody's talking about Ryan? They talking about Ryan and Boots. I'm like, he still got to fight Rolly. I said, but nobody's talking about whether Boots would have to fight Rolly if he win. Like nobody even mentioned that. Like everybody was just overlooking that.
Well, shit, people don't want to step in that ring with Rolly. Rolly's gonna be like the difference breaker.
And salute, Blue.
I think personally. What's up, everybody? I think Rolly's gonna be the difference breaker. Like he's gonna be the person that people know that if you go in there and show out, he can knock you out. You know what I'm saying? But if you go in there disciplined and not assuming, and I think Ryan kind of assumed that it would be an easier fight, and that's how he got caught up too. So you can't go in there slipping and slouching on Rolly.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say Rolly. I ain't gonna say Rolly food, but as far as the solidified guys at 47, I still think that's gonna be a big hill to climb. I think Rolly can build on some of the successes he had, but I think that's still a tall task for some of them guys up there. But Blue, before we go into Saturday, with the Friday night card, when you're talking about T.O. and Arnold, when you're talking about Devin and Jose, and we're talking about Rolly and Ryan, what did you walk away from that whole card like thinking, or did you have questions, or what was your
people just got a payday? They didn't go in there and give all their worth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just being honest, and if you want me to be like, I guess you could say T.O. did. You know what I'm saying? He gave his worth, but in a way, like I wasn't even impressed with the T.O. It was cool to see him get out there and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? He got the win. Congrats. But I still was like, he didn't steal the show. You see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something for him. I need to be excited about, to be honest with you. But he still did a good job.
Like that, though, Blue. I don't know if you saw that. They tried to make it seem like.
So Rolly stole the show?
They tried to make it seem like T.O. stole the show when Rolly.
Yeah. Well, it was really Rolly that stole the show because the simple fact is, you know what I'm saying? What he did, he pulled the upset. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He went in there and did what you didn't think that he was going to do.
But Rolly wasn't on the commercial. That's why they made T.O. seem like he stole the show.
Yeah, but see, that's fucked up though, because you know they kind of jumped the gun with all that advertising and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they made it seem like this is the big fight. So honestly, they put more pressure on the fighters themselves, like Devin and Ryan, and you can see that because of the way their performance was.
Good for us. That's good for us.
I don't give a shit.
Put more pressure on them.
But that pisses people off though, man, having to see that kind of shit. You know, you got other fighters like, damn, they making it look like they about to just run me up. Like it's gonna be an easy win over here. You see what I'm saying? And that's why Rolly came and he prevailed. You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask y'all something though, because everybody, a lot of people are like, they're not as high on T.O.'s performance. Is that because are we still going about the racial comments, or is it because he's one of them guys that gotta knock somebody out in order to get? What was lacking with the T.O. performance?
Well, who want to go first on that one? Because I can tell you.
I'll go because I gotta go back in here. At the end of the day, I think it's more of everything. The racial shit, the shit talking. It's like, oh, you raise so many eyebrows and talk so much racial shit and all this beefing shit to get a fight with whoever you say you want to fight with, but then in this fight you only did subpar. We thinking you supposed to come out here Yeah, we think you gonna come out here and demolish some shit because you been beefing and trying to get yourself in the spotlight. So you should have showed up like this. Why I was doing what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel the same way. I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about performance for me. You know, you could have did what you did. You said what you said, those antics. But if you can come in there and back it up, it's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't feel like he backed it up. I just felt like he kind of showed out. You know what I'm saying? He might have ran into a little bit of adversity,
I'll
and
be
then he
back.
started clowning with the adversity instead of
All
just
right, bro.
he started playing around instead of just being like, "No, I'm gonna get you the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna show you who this is my ring." Kind of, type shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel.
You want to close out on that one, Pop, before we go to the Saturday? Well, he gone. He stepped away. Well, with the Saturday card, man, the Canelo thing was one thing, but then we had the FA versus Bacoli.
Yeah, Bacoli.
What was your takeaway from that fight, Blue?
I think you know what? If Bacoli would have had a full camp instead of like we figured out, remember? If he would have had a full camp, bro, I'm telling you just like this, man. I think Bacoli could have pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? He could have got the stoppage. Because in the latter end of the rounds, you see FA, the wear and tear was on him starting to set in. Him having to do that so much movement. You know what I mean? It was catching up with him. And shit, it was a good fight though. I mean, I can't sit there and say it wasn't.
What was the question again, Bobby? You asked?
Oh, about this one, I said, what was your takeaway from the FA Jogba and the Bacoli? But I had asked you to close up on that TO because you said I could tell you I got a lot.
Oh, yeah. You got punched in the eye. A lot more cautious, a lot more movement. So that's why you ain't steal the show, because the nigga stole on you and
see
all the movement. So when you got that eye jamming, you run around looking like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, you know what I'm saying? West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. Yeah, when you got caught with that one, chilling out, Max, and relaxing. Yeah. So Roe just stole the show. Watching the Bacoli Ajaba fight, something about that African pride made Ajaba engage too much, and that's why the draw happened. It's something about that pure nigga pride made him keep going back, because he could have just boxed Bacoli head off. Bacoli came in maybe 15 pounds too much. He was slow. He couldn't keep up, and the FA actually let him, because FA was in the best shape. He was moving. I felt like he let Bacoli back into the fight, and then I still think he won the fight, to be truly honest with you, but it was a draw. So just so maybe the Sheik or whoever snatched him up, because FA's Bob, that may be a main card. Looking at how that went, that was one of the best fights on the motherfucking card.
Hey, Body, can I ask Papa Smoke a question real quick about what he's talking about?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, so Smoke, do you think that if Bacoli would have had a full camp instead of basically still having to set out a little bit because he had that KO, take some time off of being able to train, do you think that he would have been able to to pull off the actual stoppage or get a decision? Who do you think still would have won the fight if he would have had a full camp?
He had a full camp job on won that fight, bro. The way he boxed, the way he came in, he had time to lose weight. He had time to do everything. You gotta think about it. That was on with the Josh Padley when we was getting on Shakur about the Josh Padley, right?
Well, are you saying that Bacoli? Are you saying
that was on the same fight card, right? That was the same fight card, right?
But the thing is, because we talked about it on your show. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what happened was he didn't get cleared. I think he had like 60 days. He didn't get cleared.
Yeah.
So whether or not he was training, not knowing whether or not he was going to get cleared, it left him with like a 2 or 3 week window.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked you that. That's why I asked you what I was asking.
All right, cool.
Because he didn't have a full camp. That's what I said to you.
Now, don't get it twisted. But
no, I'm gonna say this. Let's be real. The Sheik told that man, "Hey, listen, this fight going down. I want to see this fight. This fight happening no matter what. And we know this motherfucker got the influence to do whatever. So the little 60-day shit and the fight was 90 days, he had time. He went in there thinking that on some real shit, underestimating FA and thought that he was like a jobber's like, you know, once he tires out in the later rounds, I'm a dog walker. And that shit didn't happen.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying? He underestimated a jobber. Like when you go look at the concubines numbers, FA beat him up. And he ain't beat his ass, but he beat him up.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed by Jogman and some of the new wrinkles he had, because he normally ain't that. They working with him, man. He a couple more fights, man. Shit, he gonna be knocking on the door.
He gonna be knocking on the door.
With a big rematch, I don't know what's gonna happen, because
they starting to put his skills together, and you know he got that goddamn power. You know he got that. Motherfuckers ain't gonna want to get. He fuck around and hit you and figure out that left hook with it, how to land it and with it throwing it at the same time. Come out with that right cross, bro. FA a problem.
Who you got?
Crazy.
Who you got winning over him or Torres right now?
I got FA. I think FA will knock him the fuck out. I'm not even being mean. I think FA knocks him the fuck out. He gets in there with FA.
Torres is too wild.
He's like a little unorthodox, wild, small. The skill set, I don't see it. He's not a power fighter. He's more of a mauler. He's like a miniature Tommy Morrison. I'm looking out there, but Tommy Morrison had the knockout power. You don't have that. I mean, he's an Olympian. He gonna fuck around and get punched by the right heavyweight, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm a cruiserweight."
So that Guido fight showed you a lot about Torres, then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you was hitting him with everything, bro. He looking at you like, "That's all you got? That's all you got?" He just kept coming back. Like, eventually, bro, you're gonna figure out making weight, cruiserweight, bridgerweight. You can get busy. You can balloon up the next day. You can get busy. But his heavyweight
let me ask y'all this question. Do y'all think a dude like Wardley is ready for FA, or you think FA dog walks him?
Fabio?
That'll be a good fight. That'll be a good fight. I'm high on
That'll
Wardley.
Fight, bro. That'll be a good one.
That's a good fight, man. Especially with the new wrinkles.
Yeah, that's the fight I'm hoping to see, because over on that side, I think that's the fight they calling for if Wardley wins what he just did, because they was talking to win up Martin Bacoli versus FA to find out if they could make the winner of Fabio versus Huni. Well, I don't know if Huni's ready for FA, but I know I got the better feeling that Fabio is ready for him. Huni is nice, but
bro, to get in that ring with FA right now, after seeing him going toe to toe with Bacoli, and people know like he's a boogeyman. He sat on the ropes and took some of those shots, and was like, you know what I'm saying, he's still talking shit. He said if we fight again, he gonna put him down. I mean, this is the heavyweight division, bro. Like I just don't see. I don't see too many niggas just walking through FA like how they thought they was gonna do, like with the gas tank when he took the loss and all that shit. I mean, this is the heavyweight division. You're gonna take losses. This ain't the division where you get to run. There's no running in heavyweight. What's that shit in baseball? There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
I had Jared and Wardley on the Crash Collision ultimately, but Bacoli ruined them plans with Jared, and we don't know what's going on. What happened with Ohio trying to get
I ain't heard nothing good come out of Jared Anderson camp, bro. Not
Did he ever
not
get with
nothing, but nothing. I ain't heard nothing.
Who,
Nothing.
who's that heavyweight that's getting ready to fight the young boy? He be knocking everybody out. I forgot he's what is it, European?
Itama or Kabayel?
Nah, he light skinned. He light skinned. They say he be knocking motherfuckers out like Mike Tyson. I know his name, I just can't think of it right now. I want to know who he's getting ready to fight. The young boy. I think he's like 20-0 right now. He just knocked somebody out a little bit ago.
Who you talking about?
Who you talking about?
Not talking about
Toomey? Moses and Toomey? That's who you talking about?
Yeah, Moses. Yeah. I like him. I'm gonna lie. I like how he be setting up his combos and shit, man. He making, I don't know, man. I just hope
Moses,
that
Moses and Toomey versus Huni. That'll be a crazy ass fight. I think that's a fight that should be made.
Oh, and AC, I heard your boy got knocked out, man. I ain't get a chance to see it yet.
Who?
Lorenzo Medina. Remember the Medina? He kind of
yeah.
The white guy that's kind of chubby.
Well, is he white? Well, he look white, but I don't know. I think he might be Cuban or Puerto Rican, but yeah, him.
Oh,
I heard he got knocked out, man. I ain't seen it.
On who's
and what do
I didn't even know he was.
Hey, who saw, like, cause this is
he fought on Saturday, didn't he? Didn't he fight Saturday?
Who?
The Molina fight. He fought Saturday, right? Or was that Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's not. Hold on. Yeah, the Giants.
Lorenzo Medina. We talking about the dude who had his debut.
Oh no, he didn't get knocked out.
No, I was going to say that fight happened. Didn't it happen on Saturday, right? What was it, Saturday or Sunday? Yesterday?
I don't see it. I'm looking it up.
Top rank card was yesterday.
It was. Yeah. Okay, so it was yesterday. Yeah, so he fought. I think he fought on the undercard. Was he on the undercard, or was he on the prelims, or was he on the undercard?
Hold on, Blue. You jump in the card. We still on the Saturday card.
Oh yeah.
No, I was just trying to figure out which day it was. That's all.
The only other thing on the Saturday card, I guess the only other thing, unless I'm missing something.
I was gonna ask y'all if y'all saw Bandu Jack.
Yeah,
he did a good job. What they're saying that
I mean, I'm just giving it up for niggas that's 40 and above. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bandu Jack holding down for niggas. You know what I'm saying?
They were trying to say they wanted him to fight Badu Jack fight the dude that just fought yesterday. The gentleman that I can't think of his fucking name, and I was like, I think Badu Jack will beat him.
Cruiserweight.
He's the champ, nigga. Bandu Jack proved it. 41 years old. He's the senior.
I know that. He fought, bro. He won his fucking belt at 22, and he ain't fought for 2 years, bro. Well, 23. He didn't fight for 2 years.
Who?
So, I mean,
the guy that had the belt that they fought, who proved who the real champ, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. How come Badu Jack was like shelved? Like, was it an injury or something?
Nah, he wasn't like he. You get a lot of step aside money, and Badu Jack been having fights here and there. You just, you're not seeing it.
Well, they said he ain't had a fight since 23, and saying he just fought. So if he's fighting, was he fighting underground fights?
I ain't seen him. If he had a fight since 23, that's fucking crazy. He might have been in semi-retirement.
Right, that's what I said. What the fuck happened? Like, why was he shoved? Like, what, did he shove himself or something? Either injured or something? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I seen the fight. I mean, it was. I seen he kind of came on. He looked good for his age and inactivity. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I thought so too.
Bo. Salute, Bo.
Hey, salute, fellas. What's going on?
What's up with you, Bo?
What's good with your bowl?
Chilling. What y'all talking about? The boxing over the weekend?
Yeah, we went through Friday card. We was creeping up on the Canelo portion, but we went through Friday card. If you got anything you want to add about your takeaways from?
Nah, I ain't, man. That shit was a fucking dud, bro.
Yeah, I called it anti-climactic, man. It was like you got my juices flowing, man. And I had blue balls up until last night, man.
Yeah,
got my rocks off
anyway,
last night.
I mean, we can jump to the anyway card right now if you want.
Let's do it then, man, because I don't want to be the dead horse with this Canelo shit. The only thing I want to say about this is this, man. They trying to say that Canelo ain't have a choice and he fought Skull and all this. I think that my biggest takeaway is that it seemed like based on that performance, it looked like Bud's stock rose, and that I think Bud was the winner of that fight, man. His stock kind of rose, and now I guess it's a little more anticipation, or people got a little more faith in what Bud gonna be able to do after seeing that. That was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah. One thing I want to say though about that about that fight, man. I'm gonna keep it real. After the fight, when they did that face off, I didn't see that Bud had to hold the Sheik's hand. But it looked like because somebody pointed that shit out, it looked like Bud was like, God damn, nigga, you want to hold my hand? You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like he didn't really want to hold his hand, but the Sheik was like forcing him to hold his fucking hand. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. I ain't want to talk
like,
about it because people are going to be like, hey, you go, bring it up.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's not hating.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not hating like that. You can tell that Bud didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You could tell. Because he wasn't like holding his hand like that. He was like, you know how you like, you don't want to hold somebody's hand, but you have to. So I think Bud was probably caught by surprise with that shit. Like, hold on, playing what you holding my hand for, boy? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't want to be rude. And didn't want to be rude and just like shake his hand away because, you know, in different spots, that shit, you know, that's disrespectful. You see, that can be held for disrespect, and that motherfucker shit could be like, man, this fight's off. But if they sign a contract, you know, he can just be like, well, I ain't giving you no more fights.
Yeah, just to clear it up, yeah, he got the first round knockout, Lorenzo Medina, heavyweight dude I was talking about, same guy.
He got the knockout.
Yeah, he knocked the dude out in the first round.
All right, well, shit, we cooked on that. We ain't gonna go into that Canelo shit, and but the card, the card last night, man. You had Vargas, you had Rohan Polanco, you had Naoya, you had Rafael Espinoza. Where y'all want to start?
Let's start at Polanca. Impressive when does his thing. This kid, I think 47 is his weight class. He's a dark horse at 47, and hopefully he'll get his shot pretty soon. Hopefully by next year he'll put himself in the mix of a title, of getting a title fight or being discussed as potentials to get a title fight. And that's why I'll just leave it with him.
Yeah, he did a good job. I like how he was moving in the ring. He had confidence. He's fighting with confidence, moving around the ring, doing what he got to do. He was in control of the fight.
I seen a couple. I seen a couple weak spots. I seen a couple chinks in the armor, but like you gonna have to kind of be special to capitalize on it. I see. I'm all for the safety first fighters, and I know I'm gonna put this disclaimer out here. I don't go for no safety first fighters, man. I know we know what can happen, but he's not a safety first fighter. He's one of them guys that go in there with bad intentions. He's looking to fuck you up round after round, beat you up. He was taunting the man, saying right here, like touch me, like he was saying, touch me right here on my chin, right here, like hit me right here. And he just broke Maidana down. Now Maidana, he was game at first, but he corralled him, man. He corralled him over time and beat him into submission. And I thought at some point, I think I said it a little bit before Tim said. I said, man, they need to stop this shit, man. I was like, they need to stop it because that's one of them fights to where he might not have knocked you out, but we might not be able to understand your Spanish, but you're gonna have some slurred Espanol after that.
I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't watched none of the card. I fell asleep because I was boxing in the playoffs the first 2 days. So, but I do know this about Rohan. He dangerous. Cause I seen some of his previous fights and highlights. He dangerous. He gonna get there. He's an exciting fighter. He definitely gonna win or lose. He definitely gonna be there because he come to fight. Unlike other motherfuckers we seen.
If he can make 40, I think he should try to. I think he should try to do the. I think he should open up to be able to do 40 and 47 because he was saying he couldn't get no wreck, but he looked like he could do both. But I don't know, how would you see him faring up against a Norman, somebody like a Norman or a Blair or something like that at 47?
I can see him doing real good, and I can see him getting the push because he's young. He can fight. He got the look, and you already know how they feel about Spanish fighters. When they got everything, yeah. That's how I feel. And he's on top rank. They'll love to get that belt off of them. Brian Norman and put it on him.
Yeah, man. He got a high ceiling, man, and it's just gonna be a matter of whether or not they're gonna play that game with him. What does he have to offer, and what does he do this? But he's gonna become a star. He gonna blow. He gonna blow, especially if he start, if he brush up a little bit. I hate to say this all the time, but if he brush up a little bit on his English and learn a couple things, not learn, but if he speak a little bit, and he can kind of try to slowly transition into doing a little bit of that. Just so that everybody won't need an interpreter when you watch his interviews and shit, he'll definitely blow fast because he got the style in the ring that everybody want to see. That safety first shit, that shit is like people start to get turned off, man. They want to see, because that's why they didn't even mind with anyway getting knocked down and getting back up. Like they didn't even give a fuck. What mattered was that he got up and fuck Buddy up.
With the Anyway shit, I'm gonna say this about Anyway. You need to be careful, brother. You need to be careful. Cause you can beat a lot of these guys, but some like you go up 4 more pounds at 26, guys punch a little bit harder. Guys a little bit bigger. You ain't just gonna be running through them. Take heed, take note. I mean, you got the win last night, but when homie dropped you, you saw 2 refs until he got the 4th. I don't give a fuck what you say. That shit was fight night. Anybody ever played that shit before? You gotta get the damn shit together. You be like, hold on, there's a bunch of refs right here. Hold up.
Man, in my opinion, he shouldn't have got knocked down, man. He has some flaws that he's got to work on.
Yeah,
he's got flaws he has to work on, and he should not have been caught with that punch. But he was caught with that punch. So it's like you got to be able to step up.
When you've been running through divisions.
But if you stepping up, if you moving up divisions, then you gotta step your game up. You can't just keep doing the same shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's gonna get in there and touch that chin, and they ain't gonna be scared of your power, and they gonna admit that shit. Because old boy said he wasn't scared of his power. He said, "Man, I got this." He really was feeling it, but the accumulation of punches and I'll go ahead and keep it real. Anyway, he's got a little chin, you know what I'm saying? He's got a little chin. He's got heart too. You can tell he got heart because he got back up and continued on and didn't even act like he got knocked down. So that shows me right there that he's got grit. He's got some dog in him. So He came to fight too, also in that fight, but he should not have been. He should not have been touched with that punch, man. He should not have been touched with that punch.
But this what I say. This what I say to that, Blue. You know, he's in his 5th weight class, man, and people are wanting him to come up in the shoes of the world. They There's some people up there that want to sit up there and just wait for him to come up there. But it's that's him, man. Because Tim, this is what shocked me about Tim. Let me try to wrap it up real quick, man. Tim was out there talking about, man, yeah, he take chances and he's a warrior, and you know, this is what people come to see. They, you know, he not in there trying to run around and blah 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 and this and that. But he don't have the same sentiments about Tank. But the commonality in them kind of fighters is they will take risks. You know, they will get touched. Like, and the higher he goes, if we want to be specific to Inoue, the higher Inoue goes, the more likely is that he gonna get touched more. It's just the nature, like, because if you take any fighter and you take them up 5 weight classes or 4 weight classes or 3 weight classes, if they do that over time and they're starting to fight guys that's been there or guys with a decent skill set and it's naturally like that, it's gonna be a little different. So you're gonna see that. That's just the kind of fighter he is. He's gonna take risks, but the thing is, he maintained his composure. He made an adjustment, and he ended the show just like Abdullah did. Like when he got knocked down. Now I think Inoue was really hurt. I was a little nervous for a second, but he got up, got his composure, and Cardenas came to scrap. So I gotta salute him because I knew he had some power. I was watching it with it was my old head birthday going into the day, and we was watching on the big screen, and we flipped the phone around and let him be able to see that fight because he loves him anyway. But I was nervous, and my assessment was, I said, man, Cardenas all right, but it's the breeding ground of pro box. See, pro box is starting to create these killers because of the environment, man. It's gonna be killers coming up. That's why some of them guys should go down there and get in the dungeon, man, because, you know, the diamonds, pressure gonna bust pipes or create diamonds, and some diamonds coming up out of there. And I think Cardenas, it kind of made people gonna want to see him again. But that's the some of these fighters, man, that take risks, like Bud. Like if you think Bud is gonna go up there and he just ain't gonna get touched, that's what's gonna happen when you move up like that, and you know what I'm saying, and you dealing with people with, you know, when you up there, when you go up them weight classes, it's bound to happen, man. You know, it's bound to happen. So
yeah, man, you just ain't gonna be just moving up weight classes and then you just gonna be walking through motherfuckers. Sometimes ego get to you. And bro, homie sat him on his pockets. He got up, finished that round, and was like, oh, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. I was like, oh, okay. We got him. So
you know, when I seen that knockdown, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was, you know, because, you know, they did the instant replay and shit like that. But I immediately started thinking like, oh my, you know, I got excited at first. I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a real 50-50. This is like a 50-50 fight that he wasn't expecting to be in. But then I started thinking about it when I saw how he delivered the punch and what situation, you know, how Inoue put himself in that situation. I was like, he ain't gonna be able to hit him again like that. That's gonna he gonna have to pull that out of, you know, he gonna have to time that well in order to hit him like that. I don't think he's gonna be able to catch him like that, and he couldn't. That's one thing I saw. I was like, because he was just loading up. He was just, once he did that punch on him, you know, that's one thing I hate when I see boxers do. You know, I don't hate, but sometimes I dislike the mentality that they go into. Once they knock somebody down, they automatically want to go into killer instinct mode. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how you got that knockdown. You was going in there, you were doing what you were working on. You know what I'm saying? In your training camp. So go back to that after you knock him down. Don't just assume that, oh, I'm gonna get this man out of here.
Hey, Blue, we asked, hey, Body, remember we asked Bled that shit?
yeah.
And Bled said, what you supposed to do and what you really do, two totally different things.
Yeah,
what you supposed to do, You know what you're supposed to do, but when you see that motherfucker wobbling, you get excited, your punches come from every goddamn where. You trying to kill him.
But what you supposed
hard
to
to stay disciplined. And matter of fact, that was Body's question.
Yeah, but what you supposed to do, and I know Loader will tell you that, but what you supposed to do is you go right back in there and you go back downstairs. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go back down to the basement, man. You know, you gotta keep your composure and go back in and go back down to the basement, man. And then you can come back, but you can come back up and try to land that. But I was looking like, man, if he landed, it was a couple times like, man, if he would have landed that shit on Anyway, man, he would have knocked Anyway completely smacked the fuck out. Like, so I'm like, Anyway was walking a tight line, but that's the shit that fans want to see. They don't want to see, and I want to kill this. Fans don't want to see no rock'em sock'em, because that's what people were trying to say about the whole that Devin shit. They like, oh man, what? Yeah, y'all want to see rock'em sock'em? Trying to do all this gas. Like, no, fans don't really want to see rock'em sock'em. Sometimes they do. Like, if it's a Mexican standoff, they want to see that between them. But like most boxing fans who care about fighter, they don't want to see rock'em sock'em, but they want to see people who going like, look, if I gotta take a chance, I'm gonna take a couple chances. If I get caught, okay, I'm gonna make an adjustment. But I'm not going to just lay down and just coast or nothing like that. But that's what fans want to see, and that's why he going to sell tickets. That's why people always want to come out until they hang up the glove. But
I just didn't. Yeah, when I seen that, man, I was just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep doing what you're doing, man. But it's all good though. That's I mean, like, it still was a decent fight, man. I think no matter what, I didn't really care, you know what I'm saying? But it still was a decent fight. It was a fight that I'm not gonna complain about.
Other than the top ranked highlights that I've seen, and looking at these fighters, it may be because it's the brown I'm drinking tonight. Man, a lot of these fighters is just puss.
That's what Cole Key said, man. That's what Cole Key said.
Niggas is soft with 2 T's. Word. The best thing about the fight them niggas like doing is put on that Diddy Baby yours.
Well, one thing we gotta say though is Canelo mentioned about he mentioned he tired of fighters getting in the ring, talking about Skull getting in the ring with him. And he said he was just running. He didn't come to fight. Well, I mean, I understand that, and I respect what you're saying. But you ain't got to worry about Bud coming in there trying to run on your ass. He gonna go in there and fight you.
Well, yeah, that's but like, yo, bro, when you fight a nigga like we said this before, Skull was a calm before the storm. We knew that when he gave the IBF belt up, he fought 2 people and made $100 million. Like, the IBF belt ain't $100 million. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna come back and get that shit. It's this bum ass nigga that's going. I didn't think he was gonna be Usain Bolt and Carl Weathers' fucking baby put together with Michael Johnson as the uncle. This nigga's out here running like a motherfucker. So, whatever you want him to run, the 100 yards, the 100 meters, the 200, the 400 by relay, the 800. The 2 mile, whatever you want that nigga to run, he ran it, lad. He ran it on motherfucking Saturday.
But we gotta put Canelo in the hot seat. And I've been just, you see, I don't really do many videos about Canelo, but I've been off of that because I'm not gonna let him get away with saying that shit. Why? Because they try to say, well, he couldn't prevent it, he had to fight Scar. Like, no, you don't have to. In your last couple opponents, you chose them guys. You chose them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You could have, David. You could have had the monster. Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's like I don't want no pay. First it was I ain't gonna fight no Messi. But you chose Berlanga. You chose Munguia. They wasn't running. You carried Munguia and Berlanga. Like you know he didn't run. Berlanga didn't run. He stood his ground. Like, he's not even a runner. So I'm not gonna give him that. Like, yeah, maybe Charlo, he ran a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I would say he was more elusive than what he is, but he didn't do the William Skull. But I'm not going to let Canelo do that because he has all the power. It's just like what they be trying to say about Tank. Oh, you can't pick Tank. He gotta pick you. Well, Canelo, that's your fault.
Yeah, and
That's
not
why I
just, can
got
I
him in
add
the
to something?
clown suit. That's why I got him looking like what's his name?
Only the clown?
Pennyworth.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
look,
Because
can I add to that?
you chose to get that. You got in bed with this motherfucker because of the bag, and you've been choosing your opponents. You are that guy who you got to choose them because he was like, hey, fuck this belt one time when they were trying to make him do shit. He was like, man, fuck that belt, and they came back and they
were
kissed his
trying
ass.
to make
So-
him fight William Skull the
But-
first time. He was like, man, y'all niggas is tripping. I'm about to make
Yo.
$100 million off a fight. Jaime and Edgar.
I heard this dude
Look.
got paid. I heard he got paid $80 million to fight School.
I heard it was 100 something, like 100, I don't know, 100. I don't know what he got paid, but I want to say, fuck.
Yeah, you went in and out on that one. I can't hear you, bro.
All these fights, you have so many guys. You have over 70 fights, man. You should have been able to cut that motherfucking ring off. There's nothing he should have been able to do that you have not seen, and that's what I feel like. Ain't nobody holding Canelo accountable when it comes to that. Nigga, cut the fucking ring off, bro.
Listen, bro. Listen. I know niggas say cut the ring off and all that shit. I'm gonna be real with y'all. In boxing, and I've been watching boxing for a long time, 40 years. I don't think I ever seen nobody run like that.
Hey, but it don't matter, bro. He should be.
Yes,
He
it
gotta
do,
cut that
bro.
fucking
Listen,
ring off, bro.
Listen, Blue. When a motherfucker in boxing, when a motherfucker is not coming to engage, he is running at every, like, that shit was just almost as bad as that shit, like the UFC nigga that was actually running around the goddamn octagon away from niggas trying to whip his ass. It was almost as bad as that, bro. Like, we called this shit. And I'm like, yo, goddamn, bro, stand there and fight. And he just running and running and running and running. Oh, run this way, run that way, run this way, run that way. I'm gonna run over here, run over there, run over here, run over there. Like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I'm saying, I'm watching the fight like, yo, bro, you're losing every round on running.
Can I come in with this one real fast? I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. I think I've been pretty consistent with holding Canelo accountable for cutting off the ring. Just like I was saying, people was holding De Los Santos accountable. People was holding, I even was asking the question to Boom Boom and Gooch about Crawford and his performance against Madrimov, and that was being excused away by Madrimov had a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the game plan with Virgil? That Virgil's stifled that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So I've been trying to hold the dude accountable. Maybe I'm just that lonely voice or whatever. But at the end of the day, if we call in both him and Terrence Crawford #1 pound for pound and face of boxing or whatever, you guys been fighting. You've been fighting a string of championship fights. We have to hold both of you guys accountable to say both of you guys who are about to fight had similar recent performances where the guy outmaneuvered you. You feel what I'm saying? The difference between Skull wasn't landing the right hand like Madrimov was. But both of these fights somewhat made people walk away with questions, and it wasn't one of your best performances. It wasn't a highlight performance. So at the end of the day, it adds wrinkles to the texture of the fight we're about to see. Now, when it comes down to, the thing I've been saying since that fight happened, bro, you are the pound for pound guy. You have 68 fights. In those 68 fights, you've never faced a guy like that. You said, I hate fighting guys like this. So what the fuck's the problem with you cutting it off? You don't have that step because William Skull crossed his feet, just like me and Body mentioned. He was crossing his feet from time to time, but he was so far away from you that you just let that distance happen.
And he switched right in front of him.
Exactly, crossing his feet.
But look, this is my thing, right? And I see it both ways. I know that's some psychological warfare on Canelo. Like he know damn well Bud ain't gonna run. Like Bud gonna use his feet now. He gonna use his feet the way he need to, but he know that's not a message he needed to tell Bud.
Yeah.
Bud ain't gonna get in there and run around. Like Bud, we haven't seen that style since he was down at 40, I think. And he had the red shorts when he, you know what I'm saying, when he was, man, we haven't seen that from Bud since he was down there, and he had that red shorts when he was at home. He had the red shorts on, and he styled on Buddy. He used every inch of the ring, but then he stopped, and when he wanted to engage, he would just piecing Buddy up until he wore him down, and then he, you know what I'm saying, then he finished him. Like, huh?
Before get bored?
Nah. He was like I don't know.
Was it Diaz?
Not Diaz. He looked like he was like Italian. Italian or some. I don't want to offend nobody, man. But nah, he wasn't getting bored. But that's something that Canelo said. That's something he said. He not gonna have to worry about that. My whole thing is this. This is why I asked everybody, and this before Bo got up here. I think Blue wasn't up here yet. I just said, is this the era we at where boxers think they're gonna be able to come in there, and because it's part of the game as far as boxing, because you know I heard butt fuck tuberculosis today for about 5 or 10 minutes, whatever I could stand hearing him say, talking about is CompuBox is the reason why they hate that. It's like, no, man, because we expect you, yes, you're a boxer, yes, you're a fighter, yes, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit. But are you the type of fighter that's going to go in there and do the least you can and take the least risk and be so evasive to where you're not going to ever engage and fight? I think it's divided. I think you still going to have boxers coming in and do that. Now, Skull, he did it because he got all that bread, and now he's probably not going to get no fight again. I know I'm not going to be checking. I wasn't checking for the nigga before this, and I didn't even see this nigga run. The fight I saw, he did not even run like that. He wasn't running. It was rinse, wash, repeat, the same shit over and over again every round. I got tired of watching this. I'm like, they ain't even doing nothing. He was standing right in Buddy's face, and they were just doing the same shit. No adjustments, no nothing. I've never even seen this dude run like that. But I think that this might be where we at, to where you're gonna have these people with these loud mouths and these platforms, and they're gonna be justifying shit that Devin did. They're gonna be justifying, like, cause you got a bunch of people saying, "Oh man, Skull, they saying he beat Canelo and he outlanded him and he outworked him." And that CompuBox shit said 398. Now normally I go to CompuBox, but I didn't see this nigga throw 398 punches. Did y'all? We watched it.
You niggas gonna have me watching the NBA playoffs, man. I'm telling you this shit.
AC, did you see William Skull throw 398 punches? Did you see this nigga throw 400 punches?
A lot of those shits was like jabs, though.
You saw him throw 400 punches, bro.
I saw him throw. He just wasn't hitting nothing. I seen him like punching from like way outside somewhere, and maybe I guess when he flailed his arms, they probably thought that was a punch too. I don't know.
Now, when it comes to like how many punches he threw, like I seen this nigga throw a combo when Canelo was 5 feet away from him. I was like, yeah, this nigga. You don't want to.
I want to say this, man. Canelo laid the egg, man. I get it. People, you know, when Bud had his fight with Madrimov, right? People said, "Oh, he couldn't even he barely beat Madrimov." You know, they made fun of him. Canelo had his fight, and they already making excuses for Canelo by saying, "Oh, well, he's a shadow of himself. So if Bud was the win, they're gonna discredit him anyway." So my thing is that Canelo could have cut the ring off. I guarantee you, if that was David Benavidez fighting William Skull, we wouldn't have no problem seeing the ring get cut off.
All right.
And,
Let me. Oh, I'm sorry.
my
Go ahead.
bad. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought you were done, but go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying because David Benavidez doesn't have feet either, right? But one thing he does know how to do, he does know how to cut the ring off. So all that moving around, David scored what he did, that shit would have probably lasted 2 rounds before David Benavidez would have closed the gap on him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. But then let me ask you this though. When it comes to the Madrimov fight, was it because this always strike a nerve, and I don't know why. I'm just asking just a general question, man, like a basic boxing question. Was it the fact that Madrimov had just enough sting to where Bud was like, it was more than respectable power to where he couldn't turn up, make the adjustment, and do whatever he needed to do? Because a lot of people just want to slide by, and I'm like, and for some people, it was like kind of what AC was saying. For some people looking at it like, okay, at 47 you did this and this, and then you got some people saying that, oh, they trying to make a big deal about him jumping up, like we don't have no history of like seeing Jamel, who ruled 54, jump up. Even you could say mentality and all that, or going to go get a check and all that, or 2 different fighters and all that. It was something that when them guys got in there and they felt whatever, and I'm not a Canelo fan, they chose to do something else. Now we know Bud's mindset. You know, he gonna try to get his get back. He gonna go in there and ultimately he gonna turn up. But seeing him at 54, did Madrimov have more than respectable power to where it kept Bud from making the adjustment and turning up? Because this is what we're going to be faced with all these Canelo fans talking about this fight.
And that's why I keep trying to bring it up to be like, yeah, I had this conversation with a panel full of dudes that were pretty much Bud fans. So you're not going to shake my perspective up because I discussed it from both sides, honestly. So at the end of the day, did he have something, or did he have that power? I think that movement and the mere fact that he was shadowing that right hand with that movement, moving one way but catching you with the right hand and sweeping. So yeah, he saw that, and they said, yeah, maybe he's susceptible for that. But then the downside to that argument is, but Canelo don't move like that.
Yeah, because people, this is what I'm gonna tell you, because I hear people crying. I heard somebody crying earlier about this shit, and it's like, I'm not even gonna be engaged in this conversation, man, because I'm not gonna be a part of no panels or no conversations where we just gonna be over there motherfucking glazing and shit. I'm not gonna do it. But this is the thing. People look at that fight with Madrimov and they say, okay, all right, we looked at all Bud performances. We seen what he did to Earl. We seen what happened with Madrimov, and that was just one weight class. So then he gonna jump up to Canelo against a different style, but still, that's where the whole question of, okay, well, did you feel something with Madrimov? Because if you felt something with Madrimov, it might be a whole different ball game with Canelo. Even though even though your style might work better against somebody like Canelo. It's just a question though, bro.
Yeah, it's a real question, because then you're gonna bring in the play. All right, so if Madrimov had that punch being shadowed by his movement that kept on landing on, but nobody could say it wasn't landing on him, what is Terence Crawford gonna do when he gets hit by a good clean shot from Canelo? Where's these adjustments gonna come from?
So here's my thing with that. Canelo is not as athletic as the Madrimov. Madrimov is awkward, right? And he's very athletic. We can see Canelo.
But take that aside and just say if Canelo should catch him cleanly with the shot, not the dynamics of how he catches him or whatever, but just the mere fact that Canelo will connect at some point during that fight.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean just because he catch him doesn't mean that's going to be lights out either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Canelo seems like the type of person who he puts everything in one punch. And if you want to fight against somebody that's active like that, it's only going to be a matter of time before Canelo gets tired. So I don't think it would be wise for Canelo to sit up here and keep loading up. Not like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't want to fight no David Benavidez, because David Benavidez don't even load up his shots. He just all he does is just touch you. That's all you gotta do is touch Canelo.
It's accumulation.
If you touch Canelo, he gonna stop. Like it's like when Canelo fought Bivol.
I don't know if you really respecting Canelo's game like that, because I seen him switch up the tempo of fights and shit like that, the tempo of punches and how he does shit. Just look at that. If I'm correct with the dude name, just the dude with the beard. If I think, who is that? Lamont Peterson.
Yeah.
He, like, if you go back and you look at that Lamont Peterson fight, you'd be like, yo, this dude could box his ass off.
But hey, let me ask y'all a question. Right? I'm about to get up out of here. Who should David Benavidez fight next, since he's the WBC champion at 175?
Well, apparently he's fighting Colin Smith, right?
That's what I thought, but I think AC gonna say Yard.
Yeah, that's what I okay, so now
I ain't saying who he gonna fight. I said who should he fight at 175, since he can't get either one of the two.
Shit, I mean, try to get the next best thing, you know. That's how I look at it.
The next best. I mean, in his rankings where he's at, like a name that somebody might recognize, maybe a Najee Lopez, a Ben Whitaker. He already fought Arthur Linden. Yard is there.
Who fought Linden Arthur?
Yard.
If he don't fight Joshua Batista, his next best thing.
We talking about David Benavidez, or we talking about Anthony Yard?
No, we're talking. Well, like
who should David Benavidez fight?
We're talking about.
If he don't fight Joshua Batista, his next best fight is the rematch against Morrell.
Yeah, but there is no Batista, no Joshua Batista in where he's at, being a regular champion.
And Morrell.
Yes, it is. Joshua Batista is ranked number 5 in WBC.
Yeah, but David Benavidez is the WBA regular champion.
No, he's the WBC champion.
He's I'm looking at it right now, Pop.
Bro,
he's also the WBC champion. Oh, shit.
He's the WBC champion.
And the WBA regular champion.
Yes.
Okay, so Buatsi, I've been calling out Yardy.
Yeah, Buatsi.
Yeah, those are the two names. So Buatsi makes the most sense.
It's either Joshua Buatsi or a rematch with Morrell.
Buatsi just lost. Lyndon Arthur just lost to Yardy. That's why I'm saying coming off a win and everything like that, it's like you're not, to rematch Morrell.
Morrell got a fight lined up already.
Yeah, so it's like you really just looking at Yardy beating up. That would make no sense to even fuck around with Ben Whitaker or Najee Lopez. It's like,
what about Willie Hutchinson?
Hey, I'll take it. I think he should just stay active. I think he just need to grab somebody, because he one of them guys that people gonna try to make all these excuses or do whatever or try to get all this money. He should just go down the line, man. Go in the rankings and go down the line and just pick somebody, man, and stay active, man.
Oh, there's this. I think this dude is pretty good. Alexander Gwazdik or some shit like that. I swear to God, bro.
He already fought him.
Yeah, that's the first one. That was
that's why the name looked familiar. Yeah, he's like, yo, I mean, if he got that belt, just grab up somebody, pound on them, just tell them put a lot of hyperbole words in there. That's the great Anthony Yarde, and make the guy seem a little bit more. Beat the shit out of him, make some highlight reels, and then see if one of these other guys will have a fight in between and come off a decent victory. You know what I'm saying?
As long as they 175ers, as long as they true light heavies, man. Don't bring nobody up or nothing.
Yeah.
A real light heavy, because he's one of them guys that people gonna avoid, and they're gonna try to let him get long in the tooth, and they're gonna try to frustrate him, and then he just in the pickle, man. Because Canelo should have fought him, man. That's bottom line.
But I'm almost positive, I don't think people would really shit on him. You feel what I'm saying? By looking at the complex of 175, if he did pick a Buatsi or Lyndon Arthur, when did I see this? I believe I saw this guy Zach Parker fight recently, or something about this dude. You feel what I'm saying? I think probably either one of those names. You know what I'm saying? He might, he could skate away with that, because then the argument's going to be everybody else that has a decent name is tied up. You feel what I'm saying?
How about the Albert Ramirez nigga? Because he's ranked in the WBA and the WBC.
Yeah, Albert Ramirez. I don't know who he is, so I'm trying not to speak on him.
He might fight your guy, Smoke.
Who? Ben Whittaker?
Nah, Joe Smith.
Man, listen. You know what time? Oh, wait. Let me tell y'all something right now. You know what time of the season it is right now? It's time to cut down them goddamn them dead lambs and all that shit, bro. Joe has a damn tree cutting business, bro. Where the bulk of his money come from.
Man, get that Pascal work, man. I've been wondering what's going on with Pascal.
With Jean Pascal? Yeah.
Get that Pascal work.
That's
Is he ranked anywhere, bro?
Yeah,
he number 8 in the
I ain't even think that dude was still fighting.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
But it's a name. It's what everybody else doing.
He in the WBO though. He in the WBO though. Like Zach Parker is down there. You feel what I'm saying? But in the WBA, he's ranked 6th. He's 13th in the WBC. Yarde is 9th. Willie Hutchison is 8th. Maybe go after Willie Hutchison or Connor Wallace.
I don't know. That guy Katiev. What's up with this dude Katiev? They're gonna say I keep seeing his name.
I think he got a fight coming up. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I think I might have seen some of these guys that names look familiar on recent Pro Box cards or some shit like that. I don't know, but yeah, he's in a pickle right now because they want to do this. They want to do this trilogy and shit like that, which makes sense for them. You feel what I'm saying? But
Nah, I blame Mauricio Sulaiman, man. They should have made that Canelo fight. They should have forced that, made Canelo drop the belt, and we wouldn't never saw this damn Williams Score fight yesterday.
Yeah, but moving forward, you don't get to make a fight.
Nah, I'm just saying, if they'd have forced it, right? If WBC would have did their job, the IBF would never have came into play to strip the belt for Canelo in the first place. If they would have forced it, WBC would have forced the mandatory. David Benavidez would have beat the shit out of Canelo. Then he would have fought, defended it. Let's just say he would have fought School last year. Or he would have vacated the belts and then finally move up. But the fact of the matter is that we wouldn't be having these issues now.
But the point I'm making is then you don't get the super fight.
Oh, hey, listen, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I love David Benavidez. He's my guy. He let Canelo swoop in and steal his fucking division. Point blank, period. Easy peasy. Out like we watched. Like, who did Canelo beat for the WBC belt?
He didn't.
No.
It was
Who did he beat?
It was a vacant. It was vacant.
And who did he beat for it?
He beat for Carlos Smith. They put that. They made the WBC vacant and had the WBA on the line.
Who you get the IBF from?
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb. Yeah,
So who you get the WBO from?
Billy Joe.
That man was able to. Hold on.
Nah, I'm not blaming.
Oh, he got the IBF from who?
Caleb.
Caleb Plant. Okay, bro.
But I'm not blaming.
In there and snatch that man whole division up and just said, "I'm gonna fight who I want," and I don't feel I gotta fight you.
Yeah,
and I can't get mad because on some real shit. As much as I'm a David Benavidez fan, and as a fan, I would love to see that fight. And I got David whooping him. Bro, you did lose that belt twice without getting beat. You got no losses. You lost your belt twice.
That's
Nah,
true.
but hold on.
Let Canelo off the hook because what he said last night. I'm tired of fighting fighters like this. Well, talk about the money and I need all this money. Like you had David. You could have did it with David, but out of spite, you don't want to give David a shot. So you can't complain about fighting motherfuckers that want to run around ring.
Listen, I can be real with you. Just speaking of Mexicans, he's not ready to pass that torch.
Nah, he was scared to lose, bro.
He don't care about the loss. He ain't ready to pass that torch. He ain't ready to lose to that. I hate to say this shit. Fuck, I'm gonna say it. He ain't ready to lose to the half breed.
Nah, but I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier. I'm not blaming David Benavidez, and I'm gonna tell you why. They made that belt vacant, the WBC vacant, and then Canelo, after the Carlos Smith fight, they made Avni Yildirim the goddamn mandatory.
Yep.
And that dude came off a 2-year layoff and a loss, but somehow he was the mandatory for Canelo.
Yep.
So that just goes to show that he didn't want David Benavidez anyway.
Nope.
But hold on. They were both both each other's mandatory, and neither one of them pushed the issue to basically, you know what I'm saying, to fight each other. So that shit goes, they duck each other, man. They knew what the hell they were doing at the end of the day.
Who ain't pushed the mandatory?
Benavidez was Canelo's mandatory, and Canelo was Benavidez's mandatory. They did not push the issue with each other.
Bro, David Benavidez tried to get the Yo, you don't understand. The WBC, David Benavidez has been the mandatory for a couple of years. The WBC kept pushing this shit back. And then the beginning of last year, they promised David Benavidez after he had won. Matter of fact, even going back when he beat Andre, they said, yeah, you are the mandatory. And then next year rolled around and they pushed that shit back to from March all the way to goddamn May. That's the WBC fault. They should have forced the mandatory, but Canelo got the WBC in their back pocket. Them motherfuckers don't want to lose that money.
I don't know. I just feel like they both.
I'm blaming the WBC because look how they did David Benavidez at 160, 168. All of a sudden, he's not even at 175 for a year, and he already have a belt based on they enforcing it. You know what I'm saying? Enforcing the mandatory. He hasn't even been at 175 for a year.
It's a dirty game, man, and you know what it is, Bo. You know what it is. I don't blame David either. At first, yeah, he had to take the penalty of, you know, it's just like with Ryan. It's just the same thing. He went through it, and then he bounced back, and then he climbed the ladder again. So he was relieved after that, after he after he climbed that ladder again. And then it was the politics of boxing. So I mean, I'm not, man. That's why I don't even do videos about Canelo no more, because that's why I think I put him in that Pennyworth joint, man. He a clown. Like he sent him in ginger, man. So can't nobody else get away with that kind of activity. So I don't blame David. I think David need to just, he need to get back on with his unaliving spree and keep doing this thing, man. And he'll take over slowly. You know what I'm saying? He'll have some good fights. He just need to stay active as far as I'm keep his nose clean still and stay active, man. But how y'all, let's land our planes, man, because I normally only keep them like at least 2 hours. But man, what y'all want to say to end the show, man?
Oh man, let's. Hey, look, I want to say this, and this is what I want to end it off of. A lot of people are trying to say that the Sheik put on he put out shitty ass fight cards. Well, it wasn't the Sheik put out shitty fight cards. What he did is he put out a fight card and he assumed that people were going to go out there and perform to the best of their abilities, which did not happen in a lot of the fights that happened this weekend, in my personal opinion. That's just my opinion. So I just feel like these fighters nowadays, they should I think the Sheik should, in my personal opinion, I think the Sheik should put in the contract, look, if you do not perform at the best of your abilities, and maybe I don't know how they would figure this out, I don't know how they would figure it out, but you can get penalized on your purse. You're personally penalized. Maybe, and I'm just saying that because the fights that we've seen, to me personally, it felt like people were just surviving. And that's just my personal opinion. So
I think that's kind of the problem of, and I don't want to pocket watch, but I think it's a problem of paying some of these fighters a little bit too much.
Yep.
Because the hunger ain't there no more. They done made what they wanted to get. Like if you look at the UFC, right? These motherfuckers be fighting for pennies and they be breaking each other, bro, off of scraps. I like to see everybody get paid, man, but the thing is, some of these dudes be asking for so much money and they haven't done shit.
Well, the way Dana White does it, I kind of like it. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna, like, if Turk was to do that, he could do the same thing. I just think maybe he makes it to where if you get a knockout, you get so much money. You see what I'm saying? You get a TKO, you get so much money. You get a referee stoppage, you get so much money. Maybe you could do it like that. And then that way people can, start showing, maybe that could be what it is. People would just, you're putting a fee on your performance. You get paid off your performance. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's how, I don't know.
Like, look at how them dudes that fight on Pro Box, they be going at it for pennies.
But Gary Jonas made it like that. He ain't gonna book a fight. Like he already, you can't do that down there. Like you will never fight. You go in there and do what William Skull did or what Devin Haney, you would never get another fight on Pro Box again. He let that be known. That's part of his criteria. Like they don't even match make like that. Where if you got the potential to do that, he not gonna make the fight. You gotta go down there and win. You gotta go down there and fight, man. But I was trying to say this. This is why I be saying about people in hindsight. I was trying to say this. People thought I was being facetious when I did it. I talked about it when Shakur was getting ready to go and do the Cordina fight. But when I put this up, right here. And I posed the question, is he making American boxing great again? And people were like, oh man, here you go. You don't want to buy into the shit, because I was saying that he's nothing but a Trojan horse. Now I give him credit for the heavyweight division. I give him credit for getting undisputed light heavy and that 5v5, those ideas like that. I like that. So I do give him salutes for those things. But I said, when it comes to our fighters being selfish, having our own American boxing like at the forefront of everything, since that's at the forefront for me. Everything else is like ancillary, it's complementary. This is the world we in, and these are the fights that we can go to. I said I was asking the question because when Shakur did that to go over there, and it was for Cordina, and it was with Eddie having the backing of Turkey to be able to do that. I said, man, now fighters know that they can get paid more for less. They're gonna take full advantage. And I said, look, it's one thing when you say, oh, I'm the best and I want to fight the best, and I think that me and such is the best fight, you know what I'm saying? And then you get presented with an opportunity, or you have a conversation to be able to fight the best, but then you choose to go get the money for something less. It's like even in the workplace, you see it all the time in the workplace. Whereas, shit, if I'm working at this job over here and I'm doing my thing, but I feel like, man, I'm getting paid handsomely, but I can go over there and I don't have to do as much, but I'm gonna get more. Most people gonna go do that. It's just we're gonna suffer for that as boxing fans. So I said, it's a fine line between fighting for your worth and pricing yourself out, because I can't put a price tag on none of these guys. You get hit in the head for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get hit in that. I can't do it. But these fighters know that it's like, okay, if you put that price tag for the amount of butts you put in seats or the cachet you bring to be able to make this thing profitable, you already know if you go above a certain line, you kind of being unreasonable. It's not crazy to ask for it, because at the end of the day, you can go in there and die. But that was the problem with Sheik doing it. They used to blame Al for doing that, saying that that's what he got sued for. They said he was overpaying fighters. Like, no, he had these small businesses and he was paying them money, you know what I'm saying? He was putting on fights. People just didn't like the fact that it was like all his LLCs fighting against each other. The people that he was advising fighting against each other. They didn't like that. But Turkey comes and he's just like, oh man, you don't gotta do that. I want you to fight this guy over here. And we know as hardcore that that's an utter mismatch. We already know that that's not a good match. Like, we already know the potential for these things. So it's a gift and a curse. Go get your money at the same time, but with that money, you gotta feel like, oh, they giving me this money. Like I'm gonna land right here. I'm gonna make it make sense. This is where I'm gonna land at, y'all. I think that the fight we got from T.O. or the way he was, like, personality and what he did or whatever, is because he got compensated this time. This is the first time where he got a real bag and he showed up and fought for that bag. Now, he might not have did what everybody did, but he didn't fight to a level of competition, because we know that Barbosa ain't on this level for real. But it was a bag and he fought for it. But he just now getting that bag. But Boom Boom, salute Boom Boom, man. What's up, man?
Man, what's good? What's good? How y'all doing tonight?
We good, man. We're just talking some boxing.
Hey, man, I love the Inoue fight. He faced adversity, but this is my thing. This is the only thing I want to say, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. I just been tapped in watching. Hey, I like the Bodywork boxing podcast. This shit lit. I fucks with it.
I appreciate it, man.
Hey, Inoue got to stop getting knocked down. We gotta start seeing him be able to, get hit and not get knocked down, bro. Like, anyway, you're a great fighter, but this is a lot of knockdowns we see. And Terrence Crawford don't get knocked down. Canelo don't get knocked down. You know what I mean? I haven't seen none of these guys that we call the best with their O be getting knocked down. So in a way, salute to you, great fight. But man, let's stop the knockdowns, bro. You look good though. I seen some things that I'm gonna steal and take, but I like the Inoue fight more than any fight. And I'm gonna be real with you, Body. You right. T.O. fight was actually a good fight because he got paid. I think that because he finally got what he'd been asking for, he put on somewhat a masterful performance against Arnold Barboza. But that's, again, he was supposed to do that. So I would like T.O. to do that against Jerome Boots Ennis, Rolly Romero, or somebody who gonna punch back. So
Gary Antoine.
Yeah, Gary Antoine is nice, man. I hate that don't nobody talk about him. He's very underrated, but he's nice, bro.
He might be fighting Hiroka, Andy Hiroka.
Oh yeah, he's tough though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
he's
like they
Andy's tough, bro.
negotiating. He got to face Andy Hiroka. He got to July 1st, but um, just to get on the thing that you was talking about real fast, body. I'm gonna say it like this. For me, I don't think it's gonna matter how much you pay a guy or try to put people on different scales, because I've seen even in the UFC guys come in with lackluster performances. You know, if I have a contract with you and you try to bench me because I wasn't engaged in the fight or I had a bad performance, then you know it kind of makes things go into a weird legal direction and shit like that. Yes, we want fighters to always show up and show out and shit like that, but we've been looking at a rash of shit overall, you know, of lackluster fights and lackluster cards and things like that. And the reason why I bring up Pro Box a lot is because you're not going to get that in that setting. They try to match make perfectly, not a showcase fight or anything that makes the fighter not want to show up and show out.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? So if I know I'm always in a tough 50-50 fight, I got to train the best because I'm not trying to lose. If you constantly put fighters in that position, if they come in with a lackluster performance, you get knocked the fuck out. It's just that simple. And then you got to go to the back of the line. So it gives you incentive to do it. When you take these fighters, and just to bring up the Devin Haney situation, that was a fight that was lined up for you, so you were supposed to look good. Just like they did do with AJ, and every time AJ loses and shit like that, or any fighter that's worth anything, they go through a tough loss or whatever, or a tough beating or whatever. They give you an easy touch to come out. Now, if you come out shaky on your easy touch, the camp may tell you, you know what, champ, maybe, you know, we might want to reconsider our roles and saying, I don't think we're going to be in championship contention with the way you're currently fighting. So we're going to put you on a diet right now. And that diet is fighting low-level fighters till you get your confidence back. If that's what's going to happen with the dude, all right, fine, let's forget about him. I'll forget about him for a minute until I hear a decent 50-50 name for you, or you're going to go back to 40, do your thing, go up to 47 to do your thing. But paying a dude weirdly and shit like that, when that's not the tradition of boxing, you get what you know, it's an entertainment factor. Some fights are entertaining to a certain degree of fans. Other fights aren't. To a boxing purist watching Shakur, no matter what the situation is, it's a dream watching this dude because you're seeing things. For guys who like knockouts and more fast-paced fights, it's like, this nigga's boring. I want to see Tank. Give me a Tank. Give me a Pitbull Cruz. Even if he loses, this motherfucker coming and he's swinging.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So we just got to remember, styles make fights, and if it's a bad matchup, it's not gonna be fan friendly. And that's
AC, I totally agree with you. Matter of fact, you are right. It don't really matter what you get paid, because you are either going to perform the same or you're going to perform a little bit better. But you're right. Some of those guys don't capitalize on some of them performances. Like Devin, he should have had a masterclass performance. You know what I mean? Like, we expected a lot out of these guys. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, man. But hey, I am about to get out of here. It's late. It's a little too late. I don't want to make wifey mad. So
well, thanks for coming through, Boom Boom, man.
Yeah, man, you gotta put that baby to sleep, man. Go put your baby to sleep, man. Get dad duties. What you doing, man?
Don't be a stranger, bro.
No, never. That's why I popped in, man. Hey, Body, we gotta set that show up too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let me know, because this shit over here fire. I really fuck with it, so let me know.
All right, man. We'll do it.
Yep. Get up with me, AC. I'm gonna hit your phone or something.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
All right, bet.
Have a good evening, man.
All right, y'all.
But to piggyback off what you, that's a great point, AC. That's a great point, man. I didn't even think about it like that, man. It might not make a difference. I look at it from one way, like, because I know, and I'm not taking up for Tio. I know that they was scraping that man as far as pay. So So he finally getting compensated, and I see why. But he performed. But like with these guys who they were already because let's be real, man. Let's just be real. And that's the only thing I know. You know, when you over there on Top Rank, you already know that it's a plan. Like they set up fights, they match make to build you up, to make you look good, and then they start stepping you up. Well, when you getting top dollar off the rip from what you did in the Olympics and what you did, and you getting that top dollar. I heard that interview with Shakur and Andre Ward, and I understand where Ward was coming from. And a lot of that was from how Ward was, because I think Ward was underpaid. Like, we know Ward was underpaid.
Yeah.
And he's telling these young guys, like, look, man, man, they ain't doing this, man. You got to negotiate this. And so it allows a talent like Shakur to be able to, like, negotiate something to where it's like, again, I'm not saying his value. But it allows him to have that leverage or to go in and be like, nah, I'm not doing this. And then if it's a deal that he don't like and he don't feel that he's getting paid enough for, he'll land on somebody that we know don't deserve to be in the ring with him. So it's kind of hard now. You put something on my mind because it might not matter because with the performance we've seen with Devin, I'm not worried about Skull because Skull ain't got that kind of leverage. He wasn't undisputed. He wasn't a 2-division champ. He wasn't all that. Devin got all them accolades.
Exactly.
So now Devin
you
gets to say,
hold him at a higher standard because he has those.
Right. So Skull, he might have fucked himself by doing that. But Devin, you got voices and you got major platforms saying, "Oh, what y'all expect?" You know, I mean, he deserved it. And shoot, I mean, he gonna get a big fight, and they're gonna be trying to push him to fight somebody that just got a name that's probably washed again, probably, you know, and it's gonna be people out there co-signing. And I'm just like, man, I mean, get your money, bro. Get your money. You're a young black man. You're successful. You're a millionaire. Get all the millions you can. But it's not. I'm always kick you in the nuts if you get up there talking that bullshit after seeing something like that. I don't want to see that shit. I'm not gonna be supporting. I'm not gonna be buying and supporting it. And that's not hate, but it's a problem that it's a lot of layers to that onion. And I don't know. I don't even know.
If I'm gonna spend my money on you, I want a value. If I'm you feel what I'm saying? If you want me to put gas in your tank so we can go to the city and hang out, I actually want to go to the city and actually hang out. That's what I paid you for. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't drop me off in Queens and be like, take the train the rest of the way. I'm gonna be like, nigga, the fuck, what? Are you stupid, nigga? You better keep going, motherfucker. I done paid you to go where we going. If not, give me my motherfucking money back and I'll be happy to get on that train. You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes down to that, it's like, bro, you know, we paid for something. Devin, we gotta hold you at that higher standard because you are, whether people wanna even give you this accolade, and remember that you do have this accolade, you are a legitimate ring champion.
And it's based on the opponent. Yes. Like if you got in there and you had to move because you was in there with Gary Antoine, I understand. Don't stand there and be a punching bag. But goddamn it, you was in there with Jose Ramirez. We're not saying, oh man, master class, like master what?
Yeah.
Master ass. You know what I'm saying? Like
making a joke that you gave us a master class in footwork. That was it.
That's gaslighting,
nothing else
bro.
Connected to it, but how to dodge. This is how you properly dodge a motherfucker for 12 rounds. And occasionally land punches when he walks into something. You feel what I'm saying? But when he's decided to throw the jab and do a little something, he had a lot of success. People were like, yeah, the announcers was like, yeah, then you just got back on that other thing and did that weird shit again. So at the end of the day, you were compensated to fight for what should have been a showcase. That's not what you gave us. But some fans that are just your fans, they got their money's worth. I'm a fan of yours like that, but I don't feel I got my money's worth. You feel what I'm saying? You didn't answer any questions. You left me with more questions, but you still walked away with a bag. Hopefully, the second fight, you feel what I'm saying? If you really sitting down with somebody and you really locking in on a steady coach, they're gonna look at that performance and ask you the question: Are you there? Are you back? Because I need to know if I'm gonna invest my time in you and try to build you into correcting some of the things that led to you being open for some of the shots that Ryan gave you. But I need to know if you're
How
mentally
many
back.
fights? How many fights is he gonna get? Like a tune-up fight though, man. Like he should be
But
in the
that
top
you're
of his
being
game. He shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to
disingenuous
worry
in your
about tuning up. Period.
but
He
you're
shouldn't
being
have to worry about being.
disingenuous.
Hold on one second. Let me just say this real quick.
When
He shouldn't have to worry.
AJ.
He shouldn't have to worry about being like tune-ups. Period, bro. Like that's the performance he just did. You know, people are going to question his chin now. They're going to question is he scared to get hit again? I mean, all kind of stuff. He didn't answer any questions right there. He didn't answer any of them. He made it worse for himself by the performance that he pulled off. And that's why I'm like, I don't know, man. It just to me, he was one of the people that, in my opinion, I thought he was going to go in there and box, not run around the ring.
So AJ goes through what he goes through. He picks up Derek James as his coach. He gets into a fight with a name, but the guy's no threat whatsoever to AJ. AJ does not have a great performance. People were then saying AJ is done. Yeah, he's done. He should be tired. He then comes back, starts out a couple of guys. Tyson Fury can't beat Francis Ngannou. AJ knocks Francis Ngannou smooth the fuck out. Oh shit, AJ back, bro. AJ back, bro. Yeah, that nigga AJ looked great. That nigga. I'm just being the guy that has a memory that says, yeah, listen, these are the things that become selective when people are talking about certain fighters. Because yeah, this guy can go through it. You feel what I'm saying? Who's actually been knocked out. You feel what I'm saying? Devin Haney lost nothing.
You stand in your ground, AC. I can't even. That's good. Now the question is, what are the names? Like, who is he gonna be able to rebuild with? Like you know.
Well, that is the question, because who do you rebuild with? Are you Blair Cobb said he'll be happy to fight you, whatever. But are you ready for Blair Cobb mentally?
Nah.
This is where I was saying where you got to sit down with your coach, because based on that performance, you leave questions for people. You leave questions for a fan who's defending you right now in me, because you didn't answer any questions from me, bro. You left me 4 questions. Like damn, it's like watching Errol come back. Like damn it, if Errol did that, everybody'd be like, whoa, what the fuck's up with Earl, bro? Like that's not the Errol Spence I know. You know what, AC, that AJ comparison, because I compared him. That's almost like a checkmate. But this the thing, right? He can go through that AJ phase. I would give him. I would say, okay, I understand what y'all doing, but don't promise me we gonna be at the Waldorf Astoria and I get there and I open the door and a motherfucking rat the size of a motherfucking cat pop out, and you know what I'm saying, in the bed and the covers is moving and shit, and you know I'm not even at the Motel 6, you know what I'm saying, like and so all of the extra shit that come along with him, they gotta cut that shit out, bro. Exactly.
If you in the rebuilding phase, just be transparent and say, hey, look, man, yeah, I think we'll be back again. I think we're gonna look at doing this. We're gonna come back in the next 3 months, 4 months, you know what I'm saying? We working on something, and then let it be that. But all that extra shit, I'm running toward, because they were saying they were running towards Mount Rushmore. I'm like, you running towards Mount Rushmore, but not in boxing like that, nigga.
Yeah. Now,
man, that shit was.
This is where. Go ahead. I'll say what I have to say.
That shit was horrible, bro. Like I was literally like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I did not expect Devin Haney to do this shit, man. And just because you get hit, like you stand your ground for a little bit, and then you touch your chin, and then next thing you know, you go into retreat mode, like run around this.
But this is where Eddie Hearn makes a great promoter.
Hold
Because
on. To
Eddie
me, I
Hearn would
felt
come
like
out and say,
he could have.
hold on, let me land my plane real fast. Eddie Hearn would say, yeah, you know, it was a tough loss, but you know, we're gonna go back and reevaluate
My
some things.
connection.
Or it was a bad performance.
You hear me?
And reevaluate some things,
Yeah.
and you know, we're looking to rebuild his confidence. He was absolutely genuinely honest when he was talking about the AJ losses and how they were going to bring AJ back. But Bill can't get past that his son is the greatest fucking boxer to ever lace up a pair of gloves, and there's nothing wrong with that, bro. That's your son. But you know, when you got to look at the business and the brand making of it, sometimes saying less is more.
Yeah, I understand that, man. But you built this up. Like that's all I'm saying. Like we was built. Like it don't even matter. I'm just saying his performance. Like I don't even care about him building this up. You know, fighters say shit, right? That's what they're gonna do. But I'm just saying your performance is what I'm going off right now. And your performance, to me, was just not up to par at all. Like it questions me. It does really. Should you still be boxing? You know what I'm saying? Like you know, if you're just gonna be doing shit like this, then you ain't at the top of the level anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're not at the top of the level no more. So it's just like,
I don't know. Maybe he took the snack track pack. He didn't take the snack blast pack. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they give him the snack blast pack.
Maybe.
But nah, that's just my little. But we gonna get it out. Good cook, y'all. Good cook. But I'm back, man. Now that the circus has left, you know what I'm saying? Now that the circus has left town, you know, the coast is clear to talk about some real boxing, some real good fights. Keyshawn and De Los Santos. We got Richardson Hitchens. Man, we got so much boxing coming up, man. The circus has left. It was the worst circus ever. I give it 2 thumbs down. It's like, no.
Just
you
a
know
big shout.
and I gotta call them a job, Turkey, for the matchmaking. And that's part of that. Like, if all the other promoters get if all the other promoters have to take the criticism for bad matchmaking, Turkey is no exception to that rule. I think that he had great intentions, but what actually happened, it relied on the boxers and them fighting, but that's neither here nor there. It turned out to not be good, and that shit went from sugar to shit real quick.
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, it was like on Jason's lyric when she said, "Don't get me all excited if you can't hose me down."
But
anyway, had to come and save the day. Got your boy. I won 210 off of 10, saying that he would get dropped and then win. You know what I'm saying? So he saved it for me. But that's all I had, y'all. Y'all can land y'all planes, man.
Yeah,
Good
I just
cook,
wanted
bro.
to land a plane on this real fast. Big fight coming up this weekend. If you're a solid boxing fan, we probably gonna cook on it because their fight week is actually this week. It's not the main card, but Moratala versus Zora Abdullah. That's going to be an interesting fight to watch. Zora Abdullah, Russian dude, Moratala, Spanish guy. Yeah, you know, they're both coming off of good, impressive wins. Some people are saying that Abdullah is tailor-made for Moratala. Moratala is quicker. He does carry a little bit more power, but when it comes down to it, Zora's style, he'll mirror you till it lures you into this weird thing. Then he just starts to drop bombs on you, and he's the guy at 35 that's he's retired the most dudes on the stool. So dudes tend to quit fighting this guy. So it's going to be interesting. If Moratala is not on his game, Zora Abdullah is gonna considered to be the upset because nobody really knows who he is. So it's, you know, I'm looking for a decent fight. Right now, I might be leaning a little bit more towards Moratala because he does have the speed and the slight advantage in the power. Wazora Dulev is taller and does have a slight reach advantage over him. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one for those two to make up for this past weekend's fight. I think this one might be could have the potentials to be a candidate for fight of the year.
Good nugget, man. Good cook, AC.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And
Enjoy
that's
your
where I land
evening,
my
bro.
plane.
All right.
Hey, man, I'm gonna just say, good topics, man. And let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking my dog right now. So
Appreciate
one
you,
of
Blue,
them.
man. We'll have a good week, man. I'll be back on here cooking, man. I'm getting back to boxing now. I just took a break while the circus was going on. Be back in full effect, baby.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, man. Be safe out there.
Yeah,
Bo.
easy. Good show. Good show.
All right, man. Bo, you got anything if you there?
Bo checked out everyone.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this one up, fellas. All right, y'all. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. You know, this is how we get down over here, man. It's always open, especially after I get through my little key talking points in the beginning, man. But we just want to make boxing. We want to make boxing. We ain't gonna make it back to how it was when we was growing up with the Tysons and the Holyfields and all that. We just want to give value, man. We love this shit. That's why we talk it all day, every day. If you haven't, hit the like button. You know, feel free to comment, talk to me. I'll talk back. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based. Although we give our opinions, and it's not a bunch of yes men over here. We just know how to talk it out and have our conversation, and we still stand on what we stand on. You know what I'm saying? You can represent your favorite fighter just like AC represent his favorite fighter. He go hard. He come up with rebuttals. He think it out. He don't just get all emotional and name call and call you a aerosexual or a tankomaniac. You know what I'm saying? He actually has validity to his points. You know, that's how we get down. And if you got a good point, we'll give it to you. But then we're going to come right back and counter. And we do get that light sparring over here. You see, we had Trey, Boom over here, Williams, and up and coming rising star, throwback personality, Old Soul. You know, Pop introduced us, and he was over there. And we just like to talk that boxing, man, and get it in. At the end of the day, man, I hope everybody have a good, productive week. I hope everybody stay locked in. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on. But that's it for now. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, Rex? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.